What is up, guys? Welcome to the end of season podcast, or pre finals podcast, rather, where we will be talking about MVPs, most improved, and as well as hyping up the upcoming finals match and talking about next season. I'm joined here by Red Lightning and Albatalia. Say hi to the stream.
What's up, everybody? It's me, Red Lightning. We're here. It's finally finals. It's been like a month since the semifinals ended, but they scheduled it, and now it's time. Right before the new season starts, right before the new semester starts, we're going to finish the old one. 2020's not over yet.
Indeed. It ain't over yet. Red Lightning is so loud. All right, I will reduce his volume a bit.
I refuse to be reduced.
All
I'll
right.
just talk. I will talk louder the more you turn me down.
Just vary your voice level, so just talk really quiet, and then gradually voice you and go back down.
You're right. You're right.
Lower mic volume a bit. All right, I got you. All right.
Raise the mic volume.
How about now?
I want them to hear the thunderclap.
A thunderclap of blue thunder.
Trying to break some eardrums out here.
I have to find the end of season awards page.
All right. Anyways, let's just go through our bracket really quickly. Washington League Ball team and MOP tearing through the winners bracket together. As you can see, MOP did end up beating the League Ballers 2-1. Was a decently close series. And then another close series between the League Ballers and Forehead in the losers bracket finals, where League Ball ended up edging out 2-1. I think one of the biggest disappointments was Rams of Love going into this. We expected a Rams of Love to be at least top 3, but they got upset by Forehead 2.0 in the losers bracket, who then ended up moving on to finish third place. What are your thoughts on that?
I was pretty disappointed in them. I thought Rams, from the beginning, I kind of had Rams of Love and MOP pegged as like the best two teams. I looked at the two best players, in my opinion, in the tournament, were on either of those teams, both Regidice and Youngest Lay, and so I figured they'd be able to carry their team all the way. I do think MOP, though, I'm not surprised MOP made it. They were just always more of a complete team than Rams of Love. I think Youngest Lay's team was just he didn't have quite the same squad around him. I think all of his players were definitely talented, but MOP just looked kind of busted. And I think Washington League Ball team did a really, really good job of. I don't think they have anybody quite as good as Youngest Lay on their squad, but everyone on that team is playing at such a high level that overall, as a complete unit, they were, much better than Rams of Love. So I'm not. Now that I've seen them play, I'm not surprised the League Ball team made it. But yeah, I think Rams of Love was definitely a little bit of a disappointment from the beginning of the season. I had them pegged to go to finals.
Yeah, this is like a huge jump for Mr. Wandon, who is historically known to never make playoffs in a VCU LCS tournament ever. He did make it last season off of a couple of lucky situations, but ended up losing first round. But he jumped straight from never making playoffs to making finals, which is insane. I think he drafted his team really well. Everyone fits their roles really well. We have Joko Lyoko, the big rock in the top. We've got Kolma, who's playing way, way above his rank would suggest consistently. Like, he's been really, really good. Brandon's just Brandon, consistently clutch player. And then Baraga Bluchez, I think, is the best bot lane in the league.
I would have to agree with all that. Yeah, I think League Ball deserves it. I think they played really well. And they're the only team to take a game off of MOP, which is pretty incredible, if you look at MOP's roster. I think this is definitely the best two bot lanes in the entire tournament. I would actually give League Ball a little bit of an edge over MOP in the bot lane, just because not only because of the rank differences, but because of their playstyle. I think League Ball's got a really good chance in the bot lane there. But of course, it's hard to beat Regidice in the jungle, and you got Equivalent in the mid.
Yeah,
And
I
that's just a
feel
really
like
tough conversation to beat.
I feel like the biggest thing to take away from this is League Ball does have the edge in the bot lane, and I feel like their top lanes are evenly matched for the most part. The biggest difference is in the mid jungle. I don't think Equivalent is better than Brandon. I think Brandon is way better than Equivalent, but Equivalent's willing to play supportive styled mid lane champions and a lot of control mages that fit well with how Regidice wants to play, and I think that would give them an edge over Kolma and Wandon. But we'll have to see how well they're able to play it. Speaking of Mop, I think Regidice is the star of the show, as everyone has his eyes on him as not only the best jungler in the tournament, but the best player in the tournament. Uh, yeah, do y'all have anything to add to that other than Reggie's been a monster?
Regidice, please come to VCU and draft me next semester.
Draft me too.
Pretty please. I would like to win a title. But no, for real, I think Equivalent has been playing really good actually. But it's just so easy to look great with when you've got Regidice right here. His presence, especially around the mid lane, but honestly all over the map, has just been like he's just always where he needs to be. It felt like in their previous series, I didn't get to watch the entire series because I think we were actually casting a game at the same time. But when Mop played the Washington League Ball team in their previous playoff matchup, it just felt like Brandon was winning trades against Equivalent for most of the games in aggressive matchups, but Regidice was always there at the perfect time. Brandon would distortion forward on like a LeBlanc, and the second he took it back, Regidice, boom, he's in the bush standing right next to him every time. It just felt like you couldn't take aggressive plays against Equivalent ever, really, because he just always had backup there. And I have to give a lot of credit to Regidice. He just knows where to be on the map whenever he whenever he needs to be. And I'm not trying to take away credit from Equivalent. You have to play the laner has to play that situation really well in order to both bait him in and to keep yourself alive, obviously, for your backup to come in. So I think their 2v2 has been by far the best in the league, and mid jungle 2v2 is just, I think, the strongest way to win a game right now in league.
Yeah, dude, Kolma is not a bad jungler. He's a very good jungler, but you do definitely see the difference in ranks here and just maybe in experience. Like Regidice, has been all over the map. He's been exactly where he needs to go and whatever he needs to do, and he is really good actually at taking objectives. And Kolma, I've seen his Olaf, and it's pretty impressive, but there's just a little bit of experience gap when you go from a former grandmaster player against a gold player, or even if he's not gold, like a plat player.
For sure. I think another thing to sort of touch base on with Mop is their bot lane. Top Dog has been pretty consistent, but I think Ori, with her ability to play enchanters to an extremely high level, even in a meta where engage supports are usually seen as better, minus Seraphine. That's a huge part in Mop's continued success. So they really don't have any bad lanes, and with that in mind, Reggie can play around whichever lane he really wants to, because we have seen who's their top laner? I forgot. Damage Prodigy. Yeah, Damage Prodigy. We have seen him play carry champions like Silas up in the top lane. So Reggie does have an outlet to play through any lane he wants, though he does, as we mentioned, play through mid a lot. And yeah, it is due to Equivalent's ability to play lane effectively, and I think his wave management's also really good. A couple of other things I want to touch on in the bracket. The Wooloo Gang story was the comeback
Sad.
story was it was almost there. Like all the Lego blocks were in place, and then a 3-year-old just came over and knocked it over, and that 3-year-old was Rams of Love with their substitution, their special substitution.
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought it up. I've mentioned it every time I talk about Rams, and I almost made it 10 minutes without talking about it. But yeah, Rams had way too many substitutions, guys. Come on. But either way, I was very sad that Wooloo Gang didn't make it. Their story was just so good. Big EG, whether he went big Big Ichi or Big Inti, one of the two. It was the best coin flip out there, and watching him play was just so much fun. But unfortunately, they couldn't make it past the Rams. I'm actually really devastated that Forehead, who Mary here was actually on that team. I'm pretty sad they weren't able to win their winners final. They had a really, really, really close series against the league ball team. They in game 3 they were far ahead actually and had a chance to take that series, but they couldn't quite carry it home. So that was a little bit sad. I thought they had the firepower to actually contest with Mop a little bit as well. But that does bring me to a good point. The whole reason the league ball team was able to overcome that hurdle was Mr. Balrauga in the bot lane. And I think he's going to have to smurf kind of hard in the series as well. He played so good in that last game. He was the only player that managed to stay like ahead in gold when, despite the fact that Forehead was just kind of running them over. And in the team fights, he put out so much damage, and he managed to stay alive every fight basically and keep his team in the game until he eventually came back and won it. So big credit to him. I hope he shows up again this game, because I think he's going to have to give his team a fighting chance against all of Mop's firepower.
We should also touch base on, since we're talking about League Ball's bot lane, I think we should also touch base on my boy Bluchez. Vinit's been an absolute beast the entirety of VCU LCS. He plays lane well, and then he roams really well, and like he makes shit happen all across the map. He's essentially a second jungler for the team, and I feel like a lot of League Ball's cohesion comes from Vinit's ability to play the map well, and he's just flexing his muscles there as a VCU's B team coach. League Ball having a strong ally on their side in the support role. What are your thoughts on Bluchez as a player?
I think Bluchez does an awesome job. I actually learned a lot from playing against him. Like, he does do a lot of roaming, and he shows up in like the weirdest places. Like, I expect him to be bot, and now he's like in the top lane ganking Dane, or in the mid lane ganking Allison. But he's a good player all around, and he plays any champ. Like Bard, Pike. I think I saw like a couple of different like champions that he brought out. So he plays everything. So you don't exactly know what kind of bot lane you're gonna go up against when you play League Ball. Now Mop, you know exactly what you're gonna go up against, and that's gonna be Karen playing a Enchantress support, and you're gonna have their ADC playing a really safe ADC, and they're gonna farm it up like a fuck ton. So I'm excited. I'm actually really excited to see this matchup again and what kind of champions they pick.
We've been talking a whole lot, or not really a whole lot, but about Washington League Ball team's bot lane, but we haven't actually mentioned the bot lane on Mop here. And I just wanted to shout out, I don't even know how you pronounce it now, Wari,
Ori, like Oriana, like
Ori,
Yeah,
Ori
Ori.
maybe? Sure, it used to be Orion. It was easier to pronounce then. But Ori has been insane this tournament, and I think a lot of what she brings to the team doesn't really get noticed because, normally you're looking at Regidice pop off, you're looking at equivalent pop off, but their bot lane has been pretty decent across the entire tournament. I mean, I don't really think they've had like a bunch of losing bot lanes with her in top dog, and then I think she enables her team to play so like aggressively in the mid to late game because she's always there. She plays perfectly. She's always got her vision set up well. Not perfect, but she's always got her vision set up really well. And she's always enables her team to play so well. I don't think that Regidice's Hecarim games or his Rengar games would go nearly as well in the mid to late if he wasn't playing around or Ori wasn't playing around him as well. So just wanted to shout her out. We mentioned the both bot laners on League Ball teams. I wanted to mention Mop's bot lane as well. I think they've probably got. I think the bot lane is going to be the closest matchup actually here, and I think that's where League Ball needs to win it the hardest. We already mentioned the mid jungle synergy, and then top. Both these players have been playing a lot of tanks, so it should be pretty close in terms of skill level, I think. But I don't know. You don't see a ton of huge CS differences or huge kill leads in a tank v tank top lane. So we'll have to see if any of them change their playstyle.
For sure. And I think that about wraps it up for the bracket. Mop versus Washington League Ball team, best of 5 series, rematch. League Ball looking to get their revenge on Mop, while Mop's looking to continue their streak of wins and near perfect execution to become the VCU LCS champions. I think it's best we move on and talk about our positional MVPs. Got Fat Cow, Youngest Slay, Wisher, Bayoraga, and Ori. Tristan, if you want to start off.
Yeah, I think we'll start off with the top lane here. I did vote for Fat Cow. I don't know if any of you, if you guys all did as well, but
I indeed voted for Fat Cow.
I also voted for him.
yeah, so at least for the three of us, unanimous. I don't know how the rest of the voting went, but I thought it was pretty clear cut. He felt like the best player on one of what ended up being the third best team in the league. I think a lot of the games went through the top lane. He just felt significantly better than honestly any of the other top laners. I think he didn't get punished nearly as hard by junglers as he has in seasons past, and managed to be a much bigger carry threat than really any other top laner. He's one of the few that didn't just run it with tanks the whole season, and so yeah, I mean, they really set him apart there. I think Youngest Lay might have been able to compete a little bit had he played top lane the entire semester, but he tended to play a lot of top Lucian, and that was kind of hit or miss. So it might have been different had he played the entire thing, but just one or two top lane games weren't enough to really put him in consideration next to Fat Cow.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest bromances this season has definitely been Fat Cow and 4G. They've been the hand in hand cutest couple in VCU LCS this entire split. Their top jungle synergy, I think, is pretty insane. I know Mary, you're on the team together. Would you like to walk us through some of the bromance that was happening behind the scenes between Fat Cow and 4G?
I'm not exactly sure how to respond to this, but I think we're like kind of going back to what we were talking about is that I don't think there's anybody in that played top lane against Dane that could challenge him that much. And then going back to your point, Lokesh, we just like if you get the best player on your team ahead and like they're already like used to carrying, and then you just send your jungle and you walk up to top lane or wherever your best player is, then you're gonna have such a good time if they're ahead. Like I don't remember a game where Dane wasn't ahead that we didn't win.
For sure. Yeah, Dane's a beast. I mean, there isn't really much else to say about it.
I do want to shout it out really quick. His one, even the game where he didn't play top lane, he went mid one game against
Spencer.
Spencer. Yeah, against Spencer's Vigar, and he still played a top lane champ. He still played Mordekaiser, but just absolutely bodied that mid lane matchup as well.
Yeah,
he ran over that game. So
13 kills that game or something on Mordekaiser was just absolutely insane. Like super dominant performance. I forgot about that actually until you mentioned it.
So you can take him out of the top lane, but he'll still start clapping people. So just one fun little anecdote.
Indeed. Now, onto the jungle. I know y'all are surprised Regidice isn't the jungle MVP, but Youngest Slay got the next most votes after Regidice for jungle MVP, so we had to put him in here. No spoilers. I think y'all already know who the overall MVP is, but anyways, yeah, just Regidice is overall MVP, but we had to give it to Youngest Slay because
spoiler. Come on, man.
Everyone knows, man. Everyone already knows, bro.
Keep it a secret for like one more slide, dude. Come on.
Everyone already knows, bro.
We just move the slide up.
Okay,
True.
overall MVP. Overall MVP, Regidice. There we go.
It's Big Ichi.
We in the running was Big Ichi. And I think Dane was in there too.
Big Ichi was in the running
and
for. Big Ichi was in the running for all the MVP votes. The only reason we couldn't put him in as MVP for top jungle, mid, ADC support, and overall, as well as most improved, is because Brandon paid me not to.
So please go take all your complaints over to Brandon there. And
Make sure you
and-
harass Wandon since Big
It's
Ichi
funny
didn't win
'cause
MVP.
Big Ichi actually did cross my mind for my MVP vote. I ended up giving it to Regidice. I think he was the best player in the tournament. I think he was the most valuable. But we saw Wooloo pre Big Ichi, and then we saw Wooloo post Big Ichi. And if you want to tell me that he wasn't valuable,
I think Big Ichi was valuable, but I
he
think
was valuable.
just
I
to
don't know if
talk
he was the
about
most
Wooloo Gang,
valuable.
I think one of the biggest pickups was Proxy
Proxy.
replacing Kaiser Overlord 02.
But Big Ichi just didn't play at a high enough level across the entire tournament to be really in consideration. I mean, the only reason it really crossed my mind is just because we saw how poor that Wooloo Gang was doing before he came in. So even if he didn't necessarily pop off hard enough to get up here to the MVP slot, his team started playing a whole lot better at the same time he joined. So I don't think that was all a coincidence.
For sure,
all right, well, going back to like positional MVPs, like I do think Youngest Light after Regidice does deserve a jungle MVP. I guess we'll come back to talking about Regidice in the MVP position, but we should probably finish up these positional MVPs before we do that. But Youngest Light in the jungle is a monster to contend with. There's a reason why he's a challenger player in the jungle. And like, even though I didn't personally get to play against him in the when he was in the jungle, his performances on Olaf are pretty insane. I think he played I think he played Hecker in one game, and it's all very very calculated, and his team wins those games where he plays jungle. So
yeah, he plays a carry role for sure. He is a lot less feast or famine compared to Regidice, so he has I should say fewer pop off games, but he plays a lot smarter than Reggie does in the jungle, I think. Just from like an objective standpoint, knowing both of these players. But Reggie definitely is like a lot more explosive. But
the hardest thing I had when it came to the jungle MVP was just Youngest Light didn't play enough jungle.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
He played really good in his jungle games. He did lose one of them to Regidice, but I think there was a little bit of it's not just jungle v jungle in those games, but he popped off so hard. I remember one Olaf game in the playoffs. I think it was against the league ball team. Just absolutely destroyed in that game. His team did build around him, but he hard carried on Olaf. I mean, his back had to be broken after that game. So he had some huge performances in this tournament, but he just didn't play enough jungle. I mean, he moved between top, mid, and jungle like constantly. And had he played a full season in jungle, I guess he still won the positional MVP. So good. But had he played a full season, he might have been in a higher contention for the actual. We just won't know.
For sure. Maybe in an alternate reality where Youngest Light only played jungle. But yeah, well, let's just move on before chat continues to harass us for not giving Regidice both jungle MVP and overall MVP. Let's move on to Big Ichi, mid lane MVP. Yeah, we misspelled Wisher. That's actually Big Ichi who won the mid lane MVP. Like Red Lightning mentioned, Wooloo Gang pre Big Ichi versus Wooloo Gang post Big Ichi. There was a huge difference, and I think the first game coming back, Dane was on a level 16 Kale, Forehead 2.0 was in the best position to win, and then Big Ichi, 3 team fights in a row, just claps everyone.
All right, memes aside, Wisher actually did win the positional MVP. He, I think was joking. Wisher played really awesome all season. Looked really good. Played against Youngest Lay in several games and always came out looking pretty good. I think he got the bad end of one game, but in their first game against Rams of Love back in the beginning of the season. But in their playoff matches especially, just looked way better, taking Kassadin in some Lucian matchups and just weathering the storm and outscaling and looking really good by the end. So,
he got a
Kassadin too.
I think he got a solo kill at one point as Kassadin.
He did.
I mean, it is Kassadin on it is Brandon on Kassadin. You don't regardless of how good you might be on Kassadin's counter matchups, no one has played more Kassadin than Brandon at VCU. This is a fact. You do not leave that champion open against him. If you leave it open against him, you are bound to lose because he will solo kill you at level 3. He will
Unless you have
kill you
Iron
again
Hearts in the game.
he will kill you again at level 6, and he will win the game.
Unless he's playing against Iron Hearts, in which he still will lose the game as level 16 Kassadin. But either way, he just played really good this season. His main contender, I think, for the mid lane MVP actually was Big Ichi. But
I think it was equivalent. Hard disagree. I think it was equivalent. Hard disagree.
I think, yeah. I mean, I think they both were up there.
Disagree.
But
Big Ichi is like more in line with like.
Up there.
I think Big Ichi's more in line with the assassin playstyle, similar to how Brandon likes playing assassins. But in terms of like raw skill and how well they play the game, I think equivalent is the runner-up. I think equivalent is the second. Brandon is definitely the best mid laner, like no doubt about it. But I think equivalent is by far the second best mid in the tournament. Like I don't think it's even a contention for that.
I'll agree with that. I think Wisher has like phenomenal performances in the mid. Like I would not put him any below equivalent. I think tier 2, if we're doing some tiers, I think like that'd probably be equivalent, and then tier 3, I think actually like Allison and Big Ichi are like kind of in on the same level here, because you know Taylor did play like some really good games as Bryce into like some terrible matchups, and it takes a lot of skill to do that.
True. Well, what I was mostly using the Big Ichi for was Brandon kind of clapped him in their head-to-head matchup, and I think that showed the difference between the two players. You know, he took some pretty. They had a little draft issues in that game. Wooloo Gang did, but regardless of what matchup he was put into, Brandon I think just won all 3. Did they even get to 3 games? I think it was just 2, honestly. But Brandon came out on top in all the games he played against Big Ichi. Even back in the regular season, Big Ichi took Lulu into his Vladimir and just kind of got wrecked. So I think Brandon was the clear number 1. I definitely think equivalent is up there. I don't know. The only reason I have a harder time with equivalent, I feel like he didn't quite pop off as much.
You don't need pop-off games to have your presence felt. That's the thing.
And that's completely true. I think I'm a little biased just because he didn't pop off as hard.
I think that's a perfectly fine way to look at it. I just think like my reasoning for having him second is second only to Brandon is his ability to set up and his ability to control the state of the lane and have Reggie, like I feel like he does a really good job enabling Reggie, and you need to have brains to do that, and I think like that's why he is my pick to, you know.
Your second pick or
second pick. Brandon's obviously first. Like he is the rock that holds together League Ball team, and he is not only is he a pop-off player, he's a consistent pop-off player. So, there you go. Red Lightning, you got your wish. Equivalent's consistently good, but Brandon is consistently clutch.
Brandon's just consistently better. But also, Equivalent is actually the best mid laner. Please pick him on your team next semester. Please pick me later in the tournament.
What
Thank
happened
you.
to you slandering... Tristan, what happened to you slandering Equivalent?
See, I don't know where that came from. I don't think I've ever slandered Equivalent. I think Equivalent's really, really good. I think he's worked really well with Regidice. Literally the only, like, I feel like it's not an insult to say the only downside that I've seen to Equivalent's play this tournament is the fact that he's had Regidice. Like, that's my only downside I have against him. I think he's played awesome. I just think it's easier to play awesome when you've got Regidice there. But I don't think Equivalent's played bad by any means. I don't really think he's had any kind of... I don't think he's had a really bad game all tournament that I can remember. So he hasn't just popped off quite as hard as some of the other guys have, so it's harder to remember him. Big Ichi had some just actually insane games, but to be fair, there's a reason I called him Big Inter earlier, because he had some pretty big int games too, and I don't think Equivalent ever had one of those. So
yeah, I think the key with Equivalent is just consistency. Like with Equivalent, it's not gonna... You're never gonna have a really, really bad game with Big Ichi. You could have like a really like pop off like really good game, or you could just have Big Ichi playing Lucian in the mid lane.
We don't talk about those
Proof.
games. Anyways, moving on to Bearauga, the best ADC in the tournament by a long shot. So, I hate to be that guy. Actually, I'll be that guy later. Regardless of. Actually, no, I'll be that guy right now. Regardless of how bad the ADC pool was this semester, Bearauga, I think, would have looked really, really good even if the ADC role was stacked. That's how amazing this guy has been this entire season.
Yeah, he's really good. Playing against him is always a challenge. Like he's good at farming. He's good at trading. He's good at like just like if he's ahead, like it's hard to stop him. Like there's just he doesn't have a lot of weaknesses. Especially with his lane partner, Lucha's over there, and they play like really like good like synergizing lanes. But Tony's just like he's got the skills, and he definitely deserves his MVP.
He definitely does deserve the MVP. He had really good synergy with Luches the entire season. He farms really well. He's where he needs to be as an ADC. He's always putting out consistent DPS. And of the many times 2D Sim Squad scrimmed against League World team earlier on in the season, I can confirm trying to kill this guy is so unbelievably difficult. He's talented. He's got really good mechanics. He's got really good just like awareness of the situation. Yeah, he's extremely talented. Cherish, I know you're in the chat. I'm sorry for shitting on the ADC pool this season, but it's true. The ADC pool this season was kind of crap. But I will give you a shout out. You played well.
That's not to say that every ADC this season was crap, but I think the ADC pool as a whole, I don't think it had the same kind of firepower. I don't think there were any Diamond ADCs this semester, actually.
We'll count Bearauga as a Diamond ADC.
Was 9IQ player
9IQ
Diamond?
was Diamond, but I think he played a lot lower than Diamond the entire
I don't think I
split.
ever played against 9IQ player. Didn't they like? I think they forfeited their game against us, so
They
we
might
don't
have.
we don't play. If I don't play against them, then I don't know. So.
Either way, I think the ADC pool as a whole was like a little bit of had a lower rank overall.
I mean,
than
ADC
some of the other roles.
ADC this season wasn't that good either. Like you could pop off in like pretty much any other role, like even support.
Yeah, and there were no ADC captains or support captains actually. Every single captain, who are generally the highest ranked players in the tournament, were all from mid, top, and jungle. So, you know, it was bound to be slightly overall a weaker role just because it didn't have some of the higher ranked players in it. But I do think that doesn't take anything away from the players who were there. I think Bearauga, I mean, he just played a tier above everybody else. I don't think anybody actually put another ADC all season. We would check in and see, you know, have player rankings and who we thought was positional MVP so far. I think we checked in 2 or 3 times across the season, and I don't think anybody put anything different than Bearauga the entire time. Whereas we had a little bit of movement here and there in some of the other positions. He looked by far and away the best ADC. I don't think there was a whole lot of debate there.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've talked about ADCs quite enough. I think really isn't much to say because I believe the role to be the reason. I think the reason. Well, one last thing. I think the reason why Bearauga looked so good is even when Vineet left the bot lane, it still felt like there was like just boss music playing when you were around him. Like it's like, oh shit. Like it's Tony. Like we can't do anything anymore. Like it's doomed. He's just gonna 1v2 double kill us and out CS us and just do everything better. He's just got better mechanics. Like he looks good even without his support, and that's one of the biggest takeaways as to why he is the ADC MVP. Since I believe ADC is a support dictated role, and with that, we're moving on to support with Ori receiving the support MVP. And I think Top Dog played fine, but I think the brunt of the weight of that lane was carried by Ori.
I agree.
Thoughts?
Big time. I mean, I kind of mentioned her a little bit earlier in the stream, but I think she went a little under the radar because of her champion picks. She didn't tend to play like engage supports so much. So it wasn't like huge pop off engages or anything. But I think overall she just looked like the best support in the tournament by far. I mean, I think her vision game, her actual like her usefulness in team fights, whether she's keeping guys like Regidice alive, is insane. I mean, it just felt so hard to kill people on Mob, and in my own game against them and in every game they played, it felt difficult to punish them, and I think that came a lot from her play. So, and she has kept her bot lane stable as well. I think Top Dog played pretty good, but I think a lot of the reason he played pretty good is because she was there, keeping him alive. So,
Yeah, for sure.
just
I mean,
definitely a huge shout out. The support role was a little bit more difficult. Actually, I think there were a lot of good supports, but
yeah, I think so
I
too.
think she looked far and away the best one.
I think the supports this season were pretty damn good. But yeah, she did fly under the radar like you said, and she's mainly playing enchanters most of the time. But she always ends games with like crazy scores, like 1-0-15 or like
Oh yeah,
2-1-27 or some crazy shit. Just playing out of her mind every single game, just super consistent. But it's kind of like the equivalent effect, right? You don't really see it until you realize the game's over and it's just got like a crazy score line, and then just like 90+% kill participation, just insane vision score. It's really good overall.
Yeah,
Uh,
you definitely see it like in the bot lane too, because you'll go in for a trade and you'll be like, wow, that should have done like a chunk of damage, and she'll get the shield on just like right in time for all your damage to be negated, and you're like, wow, like I just burned like so much mana on that. But she's very good. I don't think their bot lane would be as good without her. I think, yeah, I just think like like you get to high elo by playing like enchanter supports and by like being that person on your team that like is supporting your team. Like you can't always like be the carry like in the game as a support. So I think her champ pool is fine, and like she just does a really good job at what she does.
yeah, for sure. I mean, sometimes like yeah, you can definitely be a carry from the enchanter role, but at the same time, just being that person to enable your carries is also a really important role to have on your team, and she's able to consistently fill that the need, and you realize, hey, she can also play through pretty much anyone she wants on mop. So shout out to Ori, played really well the entire split. Couple of other supports I do want to touch up on. Blue Ches is definitely my second pick for the support role. If Ori didn't play in this tournament, Blue Ches would have been my pick for MVP, because he's like the other end of the spectrum, right? You have Ori on enchanters, but then you got Blue Ches on engage supports, trying to play carry from a
No,
support role.
he's really good. He's so good at like different. I think I touched upon this before, but he's so good at his champ pool is so big. Like it's just like you'd never know what matchup you'll go into, because one game he'll be playing Bard and then he'll be playing like Pike, like a different game, and you're like, well, like what should I prepare for? Like what should I do against this? And he's good at the champions that he picks.
For sure.
I actually would have said for second support, I probably would have put Glue Sniffer. I don't know if he changed his name now. It might be something different, but from Gum Squad, they didn't make playoffs. The team didn't do so well as a whole, but he honestly most of the games he looked like the only functioning part of that team. I
Yeah,
think he played the
I
season
feel
like
like that.
I think it was really hard to pop off. I think it was really hard to look good on that team, and
it was for sure.
he consistently managed to not look bad at least, and I think that took skill. So
I think one of the biggest difficulties we had when playing, I can attest to that because I think one of the biggest difficulties we had when playing against Gum Squad was actually playing against Miles. Because when I played against his Nami, I swear to God, like every single time I would go in, he would be the only reason why Slybrad would be alive. Because like his ADC is super out of position the entire time, and then Miles is just like, all right, I'll throw like a bubble with like pinpoint precision and accuracy. You are not killing my ADC. He's definitely my third, probably my third best pick for the support role. It's a little sad that his team didn't go further, because I definitely think he deserved it with how well he played the entire split for the short time he was playing, sadly, on Gum Squad. Um, one more person I do want to touch base upon that really surprised me this entire season was my boy, Karuz. We threw him there in the support role as an ADC main, and he played just completely out of his mind almost every game. Just went from kind of a passive laner, just doing whatever, to making plays, just being the unkillable frontline support that we needed on our team. And he played way above his rank would tell. Just like completely blew away everyone's expectations, I think.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna give a shout out to Sax Muffin for the support role. I remember playing him at the beginning of the season versus Wooloo Gang, and maybe it's because no, that was the Big Ichi gang, and I didn't like think it was like anything special. But then I played him like the second time during maybe it was like pre Gauntlet, and he just improved so much. Like his Alistar just improved so much. So shout out to Sax Muffin.
Yeah, Sax Muffin was also one of the biggest stories this season. Kind of also flew under the radar because of Big Ichi on Wooloo Gang. But yeah, he went from literally running it down every game to making some of the sickest engages we've ever seen, and actually being one of the biggest rocks that held Wooloo Gang together. So yeah, I think that pretty much sums up our positional MVPs. Let's move on to most improved. So 4G and Joko Lyoko won most improved, and this is a surprise for me because one, I don't think 4G's ever been bad. Like I think he's been consistently good the entire season, and the same with Joko Lyoko. I also think he's been consistently good. If it had been up to me, I'd have given it to Sax Muffin for most improved, definitely.
I
Go ahead, Tristan.
I was just gonna say for Joko Lyoko or JK Lol YOLO 112. See, I said it right. For Joko Lyoko, I think his biggest improvement was like he actually played champs that were Malphite and like looked good off of Malphite.
He did.
It
He
wasn't
played
just his
Shen.
Malphite game.
He played Shen. I think I saw an Ornn game here or there.
I think he even played like a Mordekaiser game.
He did play
I
a
don't know if I'm
Mordekaiser
remembering
game.
that right.
He did play
Yeah.
a Mordekaiser game where he did 1,000 something damage. I think Brandon
So yeah,
remembers that
so
one.
yeah, he did nothing.
But he played Mordekaiser.
Yeah, I think
won.
he improved. I think he improved his champ pool, which was a big help. And I just think he was consistently good. I mean, to me, I feel like it felt like normally he played in the top lane, and he'd pick Malphite, and he would kind of get bodied. But hey, he's Malphite. Now it feels like he goes to the top lane, he picks Malphite, but I don't really remember him getting bodied a whole bunch. I think he actually just straight up played.
He played
really
well,
good on
yeah,
Malphite.
Which is why. Go on.
I was just gonna say he was actually he still showed up to team fights with his Malphite ult, but he actually had some gold on him this time because he wasn't losing lane, and I thought that was actually a huge improvement. So you know that I actually voted for him, I think, and that's why I put him up there.
Gotcha.
I think Joko Lyoko, like I agree with the most improved part on this side, just because his even though he only plays like Malphite and maybe like Shen and like the tanks, supporty tanks, like one of the main reasons why we lost to League Ball last week is that he just fucking like yeeted us, like all three of like the carries, and like that's his job, right? So like you get this player who kind of knows how to play Malphite, and like the ult's going to be useful to someone who knows how to use his ult pretty well and can pull off big plays that people can follow up behind, and you've got a really improved player.
For sure. Keep going.
I was going to talk about 4G, but if you want to keep talking about then.
No, yeah. I mean, but yeah, my main argument as to why I don't think he should have gotten it, and just to say, people voted for this, right? So, wasn't just me. I voted for Sax Muffin, but I think one of the biggest things is Johnny has looked good all season to me. Like, he did his job. He never lost lane, I think, hard ever. Like, maybe would be like a little bit down in farm every now and then. And then when it came time for like the big fights, he was always on it. I don't think he was ever bad this season. He was just really consistent, and 4G has been also really good. Probably like top 4 jungler this entire season. Went from playing Nunu to Lilia. He played a couple of Kayn games. He did play a lot of Udyr towards the tail end of the season. I don't really see much improvement on 4G's side other than maybe he went from a Nunu bot to playing other champions, but he's been consistently good the entire time, so I don't
Okay,
really
well,
get the most improved on that aspect.
well, I actually voted for Trevor. Because being on his team, like even like at the beginning of like the team, like where we're all trying to get together and like figure stuff out. Like Trevor is like consistently good, but he just got so much better playing with Dayton. Like it's like an insane like difference from how he was at the beginning of the season to like how he is now and how he plays. Like he not only like is his champ pool a lot bigger than it was. Like, yeah, he was new bot. He's actually a support main. Like, he's playing jungle as a support main. But just like his knowledge of the game just got so much better, and he's always been like calling out objectives and trying to get everything off the map as soon as possible. So I just think that even if he was consistent during all of the season, he's not only like been consistent, but he's also had the chance to make like these giant like big plays with Dane and with our mid laner.
Well, there we have it. Some behind the scenes knowledge on the improvement of 4G throughout the season from the Forehead 2.0 support herself. You have any further comments, Red Lighting, before we move on to talk about our overall MVP and Stroke Reggie's ego?
Yeah, I mean, I just think 4G got better every game. I don't think he started bad by any means, but I don't think
Oh
you
yeah,
have to
he
start
didn't.
bad to be the most improved. I think that he actually looked better every game throughout the entire season. He did evolve his champ pool like a little bit, but that's not really the point. He wasn't my vote. It was Joko Lyoko, but I think 4G just looked better every time they played until the playoffs, where I think he had his best series of the entire tournament. I think his Udyr games in the tournament were massive. They didn't end up winning that last playoff game against the league ball team, but I think most of the reason they were in it was because 4G was just hard carrying. So that's why I think he's good.
Fair
I think
enough.
he is improved.
Fair enough. Let us move on to our overall MVP, Mr. Regidice in the jungle.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, Regidice. I
Big
mean, we
spoiler.
all saw this coming. He's just been crazy good the entire season, and there's nothing much else to say about it. Played a lot of Hecarim, played Rek'Sai, played Kayn. You got one Rengar game in, I think. Played quite a bit of Kha'Zix.
That was
Pretty
really
diverse.
funny because they picked Ivern jungle, and then he picked Rengar.
Yeah, I mean, if you see an Ivern, that's not Reggie on Ivern. It's a setup
Yeah,
for
it's all
Reggie.
a bait.
It's all a bait.
No.
Yeah.
Regice just played too good this tournament. I mean, he played jungle the entire time. Shout out for that. Stop role swapping. It makes it really hard for us to look at these roles. So huge bonus right there because he played one role, and he just looked the best at it by far. I mean,
Yeah.
he was absolutely smurfing. His entire team was smurfing. I think he was the best member of his team. And they went undefeated the entire regular season.
Yeah.
I think his positioning in the early game and his pathing was literally insane. He just always seemed to be exactly where the other team did not want him to be. I remember in our game against Mop, the entire early game were like, okay, we're gonna set up a gank mid, and we're gonna do this here before he can get there. And we show up mid, and boom! As soon as Dan walks out of the bush, Reggie's there too, and they beat us in the 2v2. It felt like no matter what I was doing, Reggie was always there to mess it up. So he was just too good.
Yeah. We know you're in the chat,
That's
Reggie.
it. That's my voted MVP. He's just too good, man.
We know you're in the chat. We're stroking your ego. Don't let Noah bully you.
Yeah, there's no way that Regidice like isn't MVP. It's just like there's some runner-ups, but like the difference between Regidice and like most of the players in the tournament is just kind of insane, and he has a good team to back it up. So maybe he's elevating his team, maybe they're elevating him, but overall, just the best player, the best jungler, the best player in the tournament.
Yeah, he's definitely. Feel like everything just sort of congeals into a like a really, really well done, well put together lasagna. for Mop.
True. Reggie is
And then
lasagna.
Reggie is the sauce. He is the sauce, the cheese that
And the
makes
noodles.
sure it has.
He's the whole lasagna.
Reggie is the lasagna.
He's the sauce and the cheese that makes sure the lasagna is nice and put together and is tasty, and then the rest of the team is the noodles that sort of allow him to have a form and a shape on the team.
I'm uncomfortable with this analogy. I think we should move on.
Can we
What do you
switch to next
mean? This is an
roles?
excellent analogy.
I
What
think
do you
we should
mean?
move to the next. I think we should move to the next one.
I mean, I would like to talk about Youngest Lay in the MVP role here. Even though Reggie did a really good job in jungle, Youngest Lay did not play jungle the entire season, and he is definitely a challenger. He is a challenger jungle. So maybe Youngest Lay might have been more in the running if he had played jungle all season. But Youngest Lay also had some pretty good plays in the different lanes as well that he played in, except Lucian mid. But his Darius play where he got the pentakill, that was kind of nuts.
Don't remind Red Lightning
yeah,
about
Reggie,
that. He'll get PTSD.
Good stuff.
Tristan will get PTSD if you remind him about that.
Was that Tristan's game? That's
that
funny.
was Tristan's team. See, he stopped talking.
I will get PTSD. I already have it. I'm having war flashbacks.
I'm having more flashbacks to when Reggie comes bot lane and just keeps consistently murdering me and Marcus. Feels bad.
But I think that's going to basically do it here for our podcast. Real quick, I do want to mention, as you can see on your screen right now, the signups for next season's VCU LCS are in just 4 days. Make sure you come out. Make sure you sign up. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be a banger year. All we're going to do is improve on this year. We're not going to go until the next semester starts, probably. Please, Dane. So yeah, just make sure you sign up. Get in here. It's going to be a great time. We're going to have a captain's draft. Everybody can sign up all the way from Challenger to Iron. Anybody at any rank, you'll be drafted onto a team. And yeah, alumni and students, current students can play as far as I'm aware, unless we run out of players. But students are definitely prioritized for teams if we have too many players. And yeah, I think that about sums it up for next season. Please sign up. It's going to be a blast. I hope to see everybody back out there.
Indeed it will. We're going to hop off the stream for a bit, but we will be back shortly while I do some quick editing behind the scenes. Stay tuned, guys.
talk, every stolen kiss, every late night walk, every secret wish, every second chance, every time we dance underneath the light of the street lamp.
Oh, welcome VCU gamers to the VCU LCS Grand Finals. I don't know how else we were supposed to start that.
We are the analyst desk. We got Shane, Pooh, Graham, me.
Yeah.
We got me, Array, Josh, West, and we got Trevor, 4G last name.
Org 3Y, that's me.
And we're gonna
How's it
be making
gaming?
sure you guys get all the knowledge and all the good stuff for this pro draft. So we got the Monka Omega Papega Poggers versus the Washington League Ball team here in the grand finals. Tell me, boys, what are your official predictions before the game starts?
All right, officially, Mop takes it 3-1 because
Okay.
Washington League Ball will get wiped game 1 from a draft. They'll realize they need to ban Galio, and then they will.
Well,
then
they
they'll
have
maybe
already
win game
started
2.
the draft.
And
So
then
we
lose
get
the
the
other 2.
Cassidy
No,
ban.
wait, already? Oh my god.
We got the Cassidy and the Seraphine band coming in from the Washington League Ball team. Cassidy band coming in from Monka. No surprise there, considering Brandon is on the Washington League Ball team. Go figure.
Do you
Tyson
have
band. Yeah, it's in
the draft
chat.
up on stream? I mean, it just shows the. Oh yeah, it's up now.
There we go. Yeah, the Caston's. I actually haven't seen Caston this season, but I'm sure he's still like it's same as how
He's
Taylor
not a
played Rise.
1v9.
Right.
He's
But
like
comfort though
he's a lot
is
squishier.
strong.
Yeah, the comfort pick is very strong. They're gonna get rid of the Misfortune, the Kaiser, getting rid of all those good 2-item 80 carries. So they definitely want to take this game a little bit later, from what I could tell. Monka Papega Poggers is gonna pick up the Olaf here. It's a really
no
nice
Galio
pick.
ban.
They're gonna pick the Galio. They said,
Olaf
"Fuck
first.
it, we're not dealing with it." They also pick up the Shen, so you do have to be careful.
Wow.
Whoa.
You really got to be careful when you're talking Shen Galio, because that is the global pressure
That's
that
the-
Washington
that
League
is it.
Ball could use.
The
to take
Brandon
this game.
Galio coming
Who
out
would have
game
thought?
1.
That's it. That's the okay. Maybe they win the first game
Okay,
because
that's
they
it.
figured out.
Oh, they get the
Mop
Olaf and the
top 3.
Malphite though.
that is a really dirty combo. The Syndra setup with the Olaf is really spicy, as well as the
Oh.
Malphite. But you see,
Well,
no, I was gonna
Silas
say
is a
that's
good counter
definitely
Malphite.
that could definitely be Vanit on the Galio.
Galio, yeah. I like this a lot. This is just early. This is the
fucking
100
actually.
B's early scrap comp. Just
Okay, because what we
run
were
it
talking
down.
about earlier was like Monka Omega Papega like takes the game in their hands by having Reggie shit stomp in the jungle, but through skirmishes between top and mid lane because his top and mid laners always collapse, and they're always playing really strong, like kind of tanky, kind of CC heavy comps that can really just pump out damage early and shit on any other 2v2 or 3v3 situation. So it gets really hard to win those early game fights for Crab and stuff, and then the global pressure comes in and it's just over. It's too late. So by taking the Galio Shen, I think it's
Mhm.
that's pretty good for them. That helps a little bit.
That's a really good bait and switch. I think you wouldn't see a Galio locked in usually when you have Brandon on their team. So the bait and switch definitely leans it to support, and it allows Brandon to pick up a really nice Silas pick for when they pick up the Malphite and the Olaf. There's really good ultimates for you to steal. Allows you to run in
Yeah,
and get
for
on top of
sure.
them with your Shen and Galio ults. So that's definitely a really good team fight already being set up. The Tristana's locked in for Washington League Ball team. 4 bands coming in.
4 Enchanter support bands.
Yeah.
4
Unbelievable.
Enchanter
Four
supports
chances and then 4
ADCs.
ADCs.
Yeah.
Yeah, holy shit.
No
Tristana
bans for
into
Reggie.
Malphite Olaf be a little tough.
I really
Maybe
like
good
this
for the win.
Shen because if they scrap around topside, his W's crazy good against Olaf.
It is a little worrying for Tristana, because if Tristana does get hit by pretty much
Oh.
anything, it's going to be a little worrisome. The Caitlyn is locked in for Monka.
What does Caitlyn do against Trist? Does Trist jump on Caitlyn one shot or does Trist get
Yeah.
outranged and poked
So
and pooped
very
on?
short trades. Caitlyn will win the short trades 9 times out of 10, especially with the Soraka coming in. That is disgusting. Soraka just got
Yep.
buffed on this patch. Not something you want to be
Bro.
playing against.
Oh.
Moonstaff and the what's it called? The Staff of the Flowing Water is something really disgusting, and the jungle
Wow, okay.
Pantheon
Hold on, the
So-
Pantheon.
Man, this is the other thing that Mop does. This is why I thought
Global,
they would lose
it's
game 1 for
everywhere.
draft and then win game 2 because they have like the super safe bot lane and then this 3v3 scrapper top side, and they just wait until mid game. But I guess Tristana Panth, they're like, no, we are going to
Yeah.
kill them.
I
And they will
really like
die
this comp from League
100%.
Ball. It's just the early game, like super scrap comp. This is how they win. They affect Reggie early and shut him down.
Before we throw it to the casters, let's think about the win conditions here. What are the win conditions for Monka, and what are the win conditions here for Washington League Ball team?
Monka needs to scale. Malphite ult, 4-man at a Dragon Pit. Syndra balls, AoE. Koma runs. Oh, I'm sorry, not Koma. Olaf runs in, 1v9. GG.
Definitely
But
think
they
the
gotta wait
Olaf
till that.
1v9. He definitely has to pick up some steam, some momentum early. He needs to get ahead, as well as the Soraka needs to get a little bit ahead so he can keep the Olaf alive. If the Washington League Ball is able to shut that down and take the early game, I could very well see them winning this game. What about you,
Yeah.
Shane? What do you think?
I think Munker really has to just control the map early. Like these volatile early fights with Olaf versus their early game comp, he has to win. And then they just have to control the map because they really don't want to fight this League Ball comp. They really need to get a pick or something. So if they're ahead, I think they just can win. But they got to survive all the early fights.
And Monka needs to be really careful too about, Tristana splitting bot, she's free because they might turn into a 3v2 with Galio Shen and, who knows what else. Pantheon flying in with his ult. It could just be. That's really scary. It's really scary to pick a fight as Monka without knowing ultimate timers. Oh man.
That's a really scary team comp from both sides.
Honestly.
So before we get into, I think the champ select timers started, so we got a few minutes. But
Got those 2
what
minutes.
do you guys think? What do you guys think? Who wins this game? Who do you think takes it? I'm gonna go say my opinion. I think Washington League Ball team probably gonna take this one. But if they're not as comfy on these champions like the Galio support or the Pantheon jungle, I can very well see an early game being blundered a little bit and Monka taking this game.
Yeah, it does become tough because I don't know how good these guys are at the Galio and I don't know how much practice they've got on them. But
Brandon Silas
Man, it looks strong.
eats Syndras for breakfast. I've seen him dumpster too many Syndras on that champion, and then having the Pantheon Galio
and being
roaming
able to
up.
steal mouth ult, he has. Oh my God, Soraka, dude.
Yeah,
I think it might be. It's a
I
lead
don't
ball
think there's
draft,
any
but-
way that equivalent doesn't just go 0-4 this game. Like all the pressure, he's just gonna get dove. I really hope he has cleanse.
Yeah, me too a little bit. I mean, man, it's really, really has to be some Olaf early game jungle pressure or early objective taking, with dragons and Rift and snowballing that way through some macro, through some clean macro, getting good prio bot with their Caitlyn Soraka poke annoying stuff, and man, it is.
So yeah, we got about 3 minutes here.
Okay, cool.
So at the start, we were talking about our predictions for the series.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go say 3-2 Monka. I'm gonna say that because I'm not supposed to root for my friends because then they might lose and that might be my fault. So I'm gonna go ahead and say 3-2 Monka Omega Papega Poggers. I think it could be just Reggie Diff every game. But I think this is gonna be a very hard. This might be one of the most exciting VCU LCS even series. This one could be a classic for the ages when it comes to VCU LCS. This one looks like a really banger. There's a lot of history coming into this game. Brandon, who hasn't made a playoffs appearance in such a long time, coming in and making it all the way to the finals. So yeah, what's your prediction here, Shane?
3-2 League Ball. They're gonna int 2 games, but hopefully they win the other 3.
Dang.
I just want to see 5 games. This is the hypest shit ever. These are the best 2 teams
So
for
good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, Forehead was pretty good though, right? Those guys are pretty good. Whoever was on that team.
Yeah.
Yeah, Forehead was
You are cute.
Okay. So what was your prediction there, Trevor?
3-1 mop. But
Oh,
now
you
I'm
wanna
working.
give some
Now the draft. I
justification?
mean, they figured out the draft because that is literally they do the same thing every game. Mop for real. Safe bot lane.
Yeah, I do think this is a really good adaptation from Washington League Ball. They
So
definitely have ways to counteract the Olaf with the Pantheon. Pantheon does have a favorable matchup early. If you get your mid laner or you get or if you play towards your bot side, that bot side definitely has pressure early. It's gonna be hard for Caitlyn Soraka to outpush a Tristana Galio. So I
It's
think
gonna be interesting to watch bot early on. to see
And the,
if they get a good
it,
push, good poke, all that.
mm-hmm. Caitlyn's not really a favorable ADC in the meta right now. It's probably one of the lower tier ADCs you can pick. But
Mhm.
he is going for his bread and butter. He's played it all season. So he's definitely going to be looking for the range advantage in this. You want to take short weaves with his auto attacks, get as much damage on the Tristana early before these all-ins from Tristana come in. But Tristana's actually a good champion, unlike Caitlyn. So I think bot lane is favored for Washington League Ball here.
Mm-hmm.
While I also think their mid lane and probably even their top lane is favored. Malphite has a pretty similar even matchup to Shen, but Shen does have the threat of TP and his ult.
Yeah, man.
So,
I mean, honestly,
but-
Shen could go ignite this game to try to kill that Malphite because Malphite's squishy early. Shen does 8,000 million damage early.
this is true.
You know, I don't know. That could be spicy to see a top
Mhm.
cap this game.
I think Washington League Ball probably takes this game, and then I feel like Reggie and Equivalent might bust out something a little spicier next game to make the series even. But I got Washington League Ball winning this game.
They might. The draft looks good for them. Especially,
Looks
I mean,
really
that Triss
good.
gets ahead, man. Bot lane just dies every time they come back to
They have
lane.
solid
They don't have
front line
flashes.
too. They got the Galio. They
Yeah.
have the Pantheon shield. They have a lot of dive potential too. Like everywhere, it's a really well-rounded comp. The only thing you're really missing is wave clear, and even that can be made up for with just pure brute engage.
I don't like all
Yeah.
the 80 carry bans from Monka. Like, it seems like there's a lot of like the Galio and Shen they could have banned pretty easily
Mhm.
instead, and that would have made their comp a lot weaker early.
I wonder if they were expecting the Galio to be picked. Maybe the Shen, but
They were definitely hoping for the Galio, I think. But we're gonna throw it to our casters for game 1 of the VCU LCS finals, boys.
all right. Y'all can start.
Ooh, we're here. We are live now, I believe. The game is just loading in right now. I am Red Lightning. I'll be your caster today. I am casting along with my main man, best caster in the world, Mr. Connor. Introduce yourself, Connor.
Of course, great to be here. Excited for our January 21st fall VCU LCS finals.
As you do.
The same date we hold it every year, of course.
Yep, we like to finish the old season about 4 days before the new semester starts. That's just how we do it around here.
We want, of course, we don't want overlap, but we want it to be close.
True, but hey, at least we're finishing it before the next semester started. At least it's finally got an end. No more reschedules, no more remakes. This is it. This is the finals. We've been all leading up to this the entire time. I'm just excited we're gonna get to see some League.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited to see Malphite, most importantly. I think that's what we've all been waiting for. Saw Malphite locked in draft. Saw Olaf with a giant win rate right now locked in draft, and I think we're both pretty excited for those two champions specifically.
Big time. No, I'm really excited about the Malphite. Anytime I get to see anybody take another player's like signature pick, I get kind of excited. Because I always feel like you're either going to body them with it or get bodied against it. Because, you know, if you think it's a strong enough pick to take it, you would hope that that player thinks they're going to, win pretty hard with it. But nobody knows their champions like, well, the one trick for that champion. So both Prodigy and Reggie are going to have to show that they can play these champions just as good as the guys they stole them from.
Also, a bit of a flex pick in the Pantheon jungle. Haven't seen that too often, just popping up fairly recently. Gotta wonder if the new items, the lethality items, are helping him out in the jungle, possibly in Eclipse this game.
Yeah, I think he got played jungle the one game in the LCS lock-in tournament that he wasn't banned. Or was he banned the entire time? I forget. He might have been banned the entire time, but I think Pantheon jungle is really strong right now, and it's just such a big flex. Like you said, it can go top, it can go mid, it can go support, and it obviously can go jungle. I'm surprised it was left unbanned, to be honest, because I think it's just one of the most powerful picks in the game right now.
I think a big problem with it is going into the Olaf once he has access to his Ragnarok. where he's able to just bypass everything that makes Pantheon good
That's
and
true.
just melt them. So Pantheon going to need a pretty early lead.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be a great matchup there, but I think Pantheon, if he can find Olaf early in the jungle, it's one of Olaf's biggest weaknesses. Is his early clear is kind of unhealthy. He honestly wants to be lower so he gets more attack speed and clear faster. But with a champ like Pantheon, before Olaf gets his ult, like you mentioned, he could really easily burst a low health Olaf out if he found him in an invade. So I'd like to see Red Side try to push for some pressure. Probably in their bot lane is where they'd be able to get it with the Tristana's early shove, and try to invade bot side. It looks like Reggie's already cleaned out his bot side actually, but look for an invade and try to punish him here early. Because I think normally you don't think that late game is where you do good against Olaf, but do good as Olaf. But in this specific matchup, I think Olaf is going to do better the later this game goes against the Pantheon.
Yeah, definitely. What I'd like to see is Pantheon definitely go to contest that top side scuttle. With both them starting bot side, it's not ridiculous to assume that Pantheon could even take both scuttles this game. And Shen puts the taunt on the Malphite, gets a few autos off, make the Malphite pop his corrupting potion, and we're out of there.
Yeah, decent little early trade. Shen's built up a little bit of a CS lead here, but it should equalize once those minions shove into tower. He's only up 6, and there was at least 6 there in that stack coming in. So, but he does have the early pressure, and right now he's got enough pressure to where he's actually roaming down into the jungle a little bit, dropping some vision. And if they wanted to invade and look for the kill here onto Reggie's Olaf, now would be the perfect time. Shen could easily walk down right now and help him fight over the Scuttle Crab. They actually spot him out with the Vision Plant right now, but Pantheon elects to instead go for his Raptors and just leave Reggie alone there. He is down a level, so that might be why.
Yeah, Reggie was able to get a full clear off already, while Pantheon is 2 camps behind at this point. Going to be 3 at the time Olaf takes the scuttle. It's going to be 28 to 20 once Pantheon gains his scuttle. Definitely a bit of a misplay from Pantheon. Spent a little bit of time just walking back and forth. And now Olaf might even get his Raptors on the top side.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to be able to take those away. Pantheon is walking up right now, but he's still only level 3 to Olaf's 4, and the Raptors are going to be gone before he even gets there, so I don't think he's ever going to even get into range. He's going to miss out on them just a little bit, and Reggie's actually going to use this opportunity to come mid, help Equivalent shove out that wave, and get some more pressure onto to Wisher, and probably get himself a decent back timing here.
Yeah, this is pretty good for Syndra. You're able to recall. You don't have to waste any summoner getting back to lane. Have some pretty odd HP values going up to that turret for the Sylas, making it a little bit harder for him to CS, especially with his low mana pool at the moment. So, pretty good by Reggie.
Yeah, it's nice to see Red Side bot lane is already backing. They've had the shove this entire time. I'm actually surprised that Tristana elected to go for the Doran shield into Cull here. Just seems like a really defensive pickup for Tristana. Galio here, you know, they are, I guess, in a double range matchup, so expecting to get kind of poked down a little bit, but with that early shove that they have from Tristana, and then some pretty decent kill pressure against an immobile Soraka when you have a Galio that can jump in at any time. I'm surprised they went so conservative here, just instead willing to scale up, especially as it's not like they outscale super hard with their team comp either. They might scale a little bit better.
Shen put the taunt on the Malphite again. He's being chunked out a bit. Malphite putting the auto down. Will there be a flash kill? We'll see. He gets it with the Q.
Excellent
he rolls
job.
The disc, gets the kill.
Hit with
First
the
blood
wheel.
goes over to the Mop squad. And now they're starting up Dragon too.
Yeah, that's pretty devastating for Joko Lyoko up there. I mean, he's still going to be a Shen. He's still going to be useful. He's a tank, but DMG Prodigy just managed to get that early kill. Shen actually missed his taunt when he went in there, which was the biggest part of that trade. He didn't get the free damage off, and Malphite was able to instantly turn back around and had just enough mana to finish him off under turret. So he's going to have a pretty decent gold lead here in this lane and should have pressure from now on.
You're just expending so much energy when you use that taunt. I think it might be 100. I'm not positive on that one, though. And Olaf's coming in for the gank. He's gonna toss his undertow, gets one hit, and walks away. Silas shoos him away with the chains.
Good dodge from Wisher there to dodge out on the stun from Equivalent. Didn't need to burn any summoners or anything. The gank probably wasn't going to really work. He wasn't pushed up enough to really be a viable gank onto the Silas, unless he had aggressively just used his dash inwards. But either way, just reminding him you're there. Hit him with one axe, a little drive-by.
We're gonna see if
Pantheon's
they
here
can
too.
make anything happen here. Yeah, Pantheon's here, but Olaf does have his ultimate ability already.
It's
This
a
might
3v2
just be
if
a
they
kill
time
on the
this right.
Pantheon, and the Stand United comes out. We're looking for nothing here. Stand United comes out, and now they're gonna stand apart as Shen go back to his own lane.
Yeah, that's a lot expended for nothing here. And actually, Reggie's going to find Joklioko there. Is just going to dash over the wall, but, you know, DMG Prodigy didn't have to expend anything. I think he actually used his ultimate's on cooldown, so I think he actually used his ult to try to cancel that ult, Shen's, but it didn't. Shen must have completed it.
Yeah, I can't
before
imagine
it
the
went
ult
off.
hit.
Yeah, because I mean, he took the teleport, so he must have either missed or mistimed it at least, so that Shen still went off. But either way, I mean,
And
that was
Galio
a
comes in
decent
with
amount.
the taunt, is able to land it. We'll see if the explosive charge comes out on anyone, and no, just a couple autos procs away the shield rune.
The Guardian.
That has a name.
Guardian. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty good trade there. That's kind of what I was talking about. I'm surprised that they went so defensive here, because Galio can really do that whenever. Anytime they don't have the shove, especially, it's really easy for Galio to just dash onto and try to grab that Soraka, or the Caitlyn, really. I mean, Caitlyn's got a little bit of more mobility, but not a ton. And Tristana can follow up so well with her W that, you know, she, especially with Halo Blades here, she's usually used in a kill lane, and you know, I'm just surprised they went so defensive here. I think they could have gone for like a Doran's Blade straight into their actual items, and you would have had a chance to actually maybe win this bot lane a little bit harder. But it seems like they're still at least content with their 10 CS lead they've got right now.
Yeah, they got it going on. Shen W pops out. There's a small trade here. Q comes out from both sides, and another auto comes out. Malphite's able to hit 8. This is just a battle of tanks. Not much going on here.
Yeah, Shen gets a little bit better end of this trade. This time, if he actually hits his taunt, I think he'll do just fine against Malphite. They're both tanks. They're both beefy. You get some magic resist, and Malphite really shouldn't bother you too much anymore. He's going to be building Sunfire, which is magic damage, and obviously all of his abilities are doing magic damage. So any kind of MR here, and you should be good to go and not really be worried about Shen there. And same with Malphite. I mean, Shen's never really going to, especially with that kill to get a little bit extra early gold, Shen's never really going to threaten you that hard unless you probably Pantheon to follow up.
Definitely not. And if you saw that there, Wisher just wasted a lot of time trying to roam up into the Tribrush. And Olaf and Malphite are onto the Shen. Shen
Shen has no
taunts
flash.
away. Malphite does have his ult. He's going to pop it. Undertow comes out. And a vicious strike too. A couple more autos. And that goes over to Reggie.
Yeah, great job there from Reggie. Just really good pathing, catching Joklioko out when he went to go clear that ward. Did commit the Malphite ult to get it, but you didn't have to commit Olaf, and they can just run up and collect that. They know that Shen's flash is still down from his earlier death to Malphite, so really easy pickup there.
And he's using this to secure the Rift Herald for his team. The first Rift Herald will be able to pick up some plates with that, have 4 more minutes to drop it before the plates expire.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of just being all over the map. They picked up the first dragon already, so you don't have to worry about Red Side's bot lane, which has had pressure down here, like snowballing out to an early dragon lead. You've already kind of stymied that, and then you're grabbing the Rift Herald as well. So if you want to, they could easily break down that top or mid turret with the pressure they've got in the upper half of the map now. So should see Mop getting out to a pretty decent gold lead. They're already at 500-600, but wouldn't surprise me if the tools they have right now, if they could expand that in the next 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, I agree. I think that that Red Side might try to go for the next dragon as it pops up. They have the Shen ult ready, and Malphite does have TP, but his ultimate is still down, and Syndra hits the stun. Wisher closely trades back, but he's gonna have to recall quite soon with the dragon up.
Yeah, good thing for Red Side. Silas hasn't really been punished at this point. He's a couple of CS down, but no ganks have, found their way to actually kill him or chunk him out too hard. So he's just farming up, and he's going to scale really, really well into this game. He's got a great ultimate he can take in this Malphite, and he'll be a huge threat in these team fights with his full AP build compared to Malphite's tank build. That stolen Malphite ult is going to be really, really dangerous in a mobile bot lane and mid lane, honestly, in the back line for Red Side.
Yeah, but unluckily for Wisher, as he walks away from his mid lane, Reggie drops the Rift Herald. Syndra's able to get some turret plates, and they're able to pick up the Ocean Drag because they have 2 members top lane.
Yep, it seems like they've just got full control of this map, basically. Wherever Reggie goes at this point is where red side's going to be, or blue side is going to be stronger.
Another taunt comes in on the Malphite. Just a trade of autos, probably. Both of them do have their ult available, and Olaf is chasing down and chasing away. He did pop Ghost for that Olaf.
Yeah, surprised he actually popped a summoner spell there. They didn't have numbers by any means. The bot lane was roaming up, but it was going to be a 2v3 with Pantheon right there, so a little surprised he was willing to go for that so hard. But hey, at least you burned the Ghost from Olaf. You didn't have to burn any summoner spells on red side, so you'll take that. That's a little bit of a win.
And it looks like Wisher trying for the top lane gank for the 3rd time. We'll see if he's able to do anything this time. Probably going to steal the ult and go for it immediately. We'll have to see what happens. And not much comes of it. Burns Prodigy's flash. He decides not to try and ult away. Does not want to risk the timing. And the man drop comes mid. Immediately stunned out. Galio and Pantheon chasing Syndra down now. The Undertow comes out onto the Shen. He's able to Vicious Strike, and he's able to burn the Shen flash. Nothing more comes of it. Many Summoner burned, and a Scuttle taken for red side, but that's about it.
I think, you might be a second or two behind me, actually. It was a good try. Actually, they're going to go in right here at Gaiden bot lane. Good damage onto blue side's bot lane, but they're going to trade it right back with the ultimate coming through. It looks like Balraga is... Ooh, blows the heal and just barely lives.
I was able to speed up. Did not tell me where I was in the VOD, but I think I'm as caught up as I can be now.
There you go. You were just a few seconds behind, I think, from what you were saying. Either way, looks like that Wisher decided not to burn that Malphite ult. I don't really know why he didn't go for it instantly and try to burst him out, other than they must have had info that Reggie was nearby. But it was a little sad that Pantheon ult came in. I think it was a good attempt onto Equivalent, but without burning his flash on a champion with no dashes, manages to sidestep that ult and just walk right out.
Yeah, the problem with the Pantheon ult, you are always going to spawn in the same spot. Syndra is pretty easily able to time her stun for as soon as you drop.
Yep, it was pretty simple for her to get away there. And yeah, not burning the flash is a pretty big loss. I mean, the Pantheon ult's got a decent cooldown, and you're putting it right down the mid lane, so you think it'd be pretty hard for an immobile mage to actually, get away from, but Equivalent just showing some really good game knowledge to just walk right away.
And they pop the silence on the Galio. Undertow comes out, Shen onto the Galio, and Shen is slowly walking forward. Silas is able to hit to change. He's able to pop his Q, and they have Malphite ult coming out as well. Pantheon E comes out. This fight is a real cluster, but it looks like it's going to be leaning blue side. The Unleashed power comes out onto the Silas. Qs are popping everywhere. Balls are everywhere. And they are able to take Wisher's life as well.
Yeah, absolute tragedy for red side there. They end up losing 3-0, letting the kill lead get out to 5-0 overall. They engaged on that bot side, but Pantheon got killed really quickly by Syndra and Olaf on the top, and it let them collapse down behind them and just cut off the retreat from red side. They weren't able to punish the bot lane from Mop hard enough before they could get into the turret. So no kills picked up there, and they ended up trading 3 away. It's going to let the gold lead balloon out to like 4,000 gold now. And with this turret taken down almost closer to 5, with 5k gold lead and 2 dragons in the bag already, it's going to be pretty hard for red side to come back. They're going to have to do a little bit better job of weathering the storm here, only 15 minutes in.
Yeah, it seems like Reggie on this Olaf is definitely taking over this game. Has his Gore Drinker, looking to go for probably Black Cleaver or Sterix, can't tell at this point. And he just farming, basically. He's doing super well. Almost the same level of the solo laner, so we'll have to see what happens if they're able to catch him out.
Yeah, he's going to be really dangerous in this team fight. When he pops his ult and he pops Ghost, I mean, he should be able to just run straight back, and there's nobody that can really deal with him during his ult. I mean, they're going to have to kite back really effectively. It looks like Blue Chess might actually be caught out here. I don't think Blue Chess and Yoko together can stop this guy.
Comes down, and he's able to just get on him with the W. Ragnarok, another Q comes out, Undertow onto Shen. We'll see if Shen's able to get away. Malphite Cube comes out, the slow is too much, and the ace in the hole. That's a dead Shen.
Yeah, definitely not good for red side there. That's exactly what we were just talking about with Olaf. Is nobody here can tank him for his ult. Nobody here can kite away. When he pops that ghost, he's able to just run blue chest right down and kill him. He couldn't get away. He couldn't crowd control him. He couldn't do anything. And Joko Lyoko just has to stand there and kind of watch it happen. He might be tanky enough to survive for a bit longer, but by the time Galio dies, the rest of blue team is there to collapse and make sure that that Shen goes down as well. So
And
really
they aren't
punishing
even
the top
able
side.
to get the Constellation Dragon. Syndra's able to safeguard it until her team's able to make it there. And Pantheon is not going to attempt the steal, just going to attempt to run away from the Syndra.
All you really can do at this point. I mean, I don't think you can take a fight here. You're down numbers. It's 3-5. All 5 members of blue side are on the bot. They have Rift Herald, so if they win any fight, they're going to punish you extremely hard in terms of turret damage. They're actually just going to pop it right here already and just go for this turret right here, this inner bot turret. Yeah, so it's smart from red side to just run. Looks like Pantheon.
And they're able to get the stun and the undertow onto the Pantheon. He has to pop his E-shield. That's a pretty good anti-dive tool they just got rid of. Pretty long cooldown, and it looks like they're going to get this tier 2 turret in the bot side. Shen's still top lane. He has his ultimate ready, so we'll have to see if they go for an engagement here.
Malphite ult secured from Silas here. He could easily use that to kind of butter the bread of this backline, but they're going to back off. They're going to smartly not go and continue to push for that inhibitor turret. I think they would have funneled a little bit too close had they gone and pushed for it. Seeing Wisher had that Malphite ult. Just wait out the cooldown. Let it run out.
Yeah.
Don't fight during that period when he can actually use really like the one good ult here. I guess the Soraka ult's just fine, but like, and Ragnarok would be pretty good too. But Syndra ult's kind of useless on him, and so is Caitlyn.
Yeah, Malphite ult is definitely one of the premier abilities. I think Ragnarok and Wish are actually pretty good too. And we'll have to see what happens if you're Mop right now. And he Malphite ults. He uses the hijack Malphite ult to go onto the Syndra, but the Wish comes out and the Galio ult comes out to help Wisher out of that sticky situation he put himself in, and the man drop comes in as well. A lot of ults burned for not much there.
Yeah, so had those ults been timed correctly, that play could have been good. I don't think Soraka could have saved Syndra if Galio and Pantheon instantly both global ulted on top of her, but they didn't ult until the play was over. Galio didn't come in until the entire play was done. Wisher was already retreating because Soraka had made it so equivalent clearly wasn't going to go down. So just a really big miscommunication there, wasting some big cooldowns that are, extremely important right now and getting absolutely nothing for it. They haven't been able to make any of these globals work yet. They haven't gotten a kill. They've knocked down one turret, I guess, in the bot lane, but they haven't been able to line these abilities up to actually make any kind of play here.
Yeah, what you need to do there, just have Galio ult Silas as the Malphite ult hits Syndra, because then you have the chains to lock the Syndra down, and the flash taunt comes out from the Shen. We're going to see if the chains can land. It looks like they can't. That's actually a double Malphite ult, and it should be a quick double kill for the Olaf. Ace of the Hole comes in, does most of his health, and Equivalent actually gets it with her unleashed power.
That play was over as soon as it started. They engaged with Shen, Silas, and it looked good because they were engaging under their own turret, but Reggie was already right behind them with his Olaf. He was immediately flanking from the second that play started and punished them instantly. So with him standing right there in the wing, that play was never going to work. I don't think they have the damage right now. Silas was only at one item, so they don't have what it takes to actually burst somebody out before their allies can come in. And blue side is showing they don't need the globals. They're always in the right place. They're keeping their team together. And with red side down, 6k gold here, they don't have the gold necessary to burst out a member before the rest of blue team arrives.
League ball team dug themselves a hole from about 3 minutes into the game, with Pantheon being hugely behind the Olaf, and the Olaf actually boom plants over the wall. We'll see if he's able to get on the Galio, and the Galio flashes away. But with each failed play, League ball team comes further and further from their game 1 victory. We'll have to see if they can make a miracle happen.
Yeah, forces that flash right away. Decides not to go any farther. I think Olaf might have been able to continue to look for that kill, but decides to keep his cooldowns up and just let it go. Drag is up in less than a minute, so it's probably smart not to burn your ult or your ghost. Because if you get this drag, you'll secure the Infernal Soul, and you'll be mean, you're already pretty likely to win this game based on the current game state, but that Caitlyn is going to be tough when you've got Infernal Soul on top of it. The Syndra is going to be rough. I mean, even Soraka, just throwing her Qs down and getting some poke damage with Infernal Soul to buff it back up. It's going to be hard to win any sieges or extended engages against an Infernal Soul hero.
Yeah.
On the side.
And with the team fight prowess that Mop is bringing right now, you can do Infernal Soul straight into Baron and not really have to worry about much apart from the Pantheon steal, which it's very difficult to steal from an Olaf. And Olaf is able to get a Q down. He is popping the Ragnarok, and he's running away. They should be isolating the Silas now. Galio ult comes in, but a huge Malphite ult pops up 3, and they are able to drop Wisher, and they are able to land another Undertow to pop the Pantheon. Boom,
Yep.
It actually comes out from the ace in the hole, and this is the Infernal Soul secured for Mop.
They just don't have the gold. I mean, well played from blue side there. Actually, they might be able to find a kill. Balrog's looking for DMG Prodigy here. They do manage to get their first kill. It's onto Balrog, the most important member, able to pick up that shutdown actually onto the Malphite.
Explosive charge, a few autos, and a buster shot just launches them right out of there. Reggie doing this dragon alone while they're sieging the mid tier 2.
Yeah, they just don't have the gold right now. I don't think Red Side played that team fight poorly. They just, Wisher got into the backline on his Silas, but he just doesn't do enough damage. I mean, Soraka's there and literally is out healing basically all of his damage onto any carry that he actually gets himself onto. Meanwhile, Olaf runs straight to the backline and just kills literally everybody but Balraga, who's able to maneuver himself to safety. So, they just don't have what it takes right now to actually be taking any fights. But I don't know if at this point, you're ever really going to have the chance. You've already let the Infernal Soul go. At least Infernal's not the most devastating soul to play against. It's by no means game-ending just because they secure it, but should be pretty easy for blue side to maneuver over, set up vision around the Baron, and just take it. If red side enters, I mean, there's nothing to stop Olaf from just running them down and cleaning them up and then taking the Baron anyway.
Yeah, they were able to get their 1 kill. I think they should be content with that 1 kill. Go into game 2 with the tempo that they got from it. See if they can get 2 kills next game. We'll see.
It surprised me if they picked up 1 more from a base
And
play or something.
TP coming in. Looks like a double TP. They are able to get the stun onto the Shen. Ragnarok comes out again, and they're just autoing the Shen down. Another Q pops him. Another auto. Oh, Silas goes into his Zonias, and an easy pop from the well-timed Cinder Q right out of the Zonias. That's 4 for nothing.
Red team is just not on point at all with their engages. They double TP in on a ward right next to the pit. You're not even slightly behind it to delay your engage. They double TP right next to them. The rest of the team isn't there. Pantheon ults in like a good 15 seconds after the fight starts. Galio didn't even have his ult up, has to walk all the way from base, and he's the only one that lives because he never even got there. And this time Balraga was burst out pretty much instantly, so he didn't have the chance to actually secure a late kill onto a mispositioned member of blue team. So easy wipe there, grab the Baron, use it to push down. At least you're definitely gonna be able to break the base here. They might actually be able to just straight up end with the massive gold lead they have. They want to back and spend first. Probably walk it right down mid.
Yeah, this is the VCU LCS finals. You gotta play it safe. They do have an 11k gold lead, but if that gold is in their pockets, what kind of lead is that? They're gonna go right out onto the map, probably secure the red buff too before shoving. And then I wouldn't mind to just have Malphite in a side lane with his TP ready, wanting to get as many Baron empowered lanes shoved as possible.
I agree. I don't think you need him to TP. Just walk him top. You could probably win the 4v5 here if you needed to. The gold differences on the carries.
Galio's able to Justice punch away. We'll see if they have to use the Malphite ult for this one, but no, just a couple undertows and a few autos, and Caitlyn secured the kill. And they are not going for the dive. Balraga is waiting on the flank too. Do they know he's there? It looks like they do, and they're going for the kill onto him too. I wouldn't be surprised if Ragnarok pops right now and he's gonna walk over, and that's a Shen ult popped. But it's a Shen ult for an Olaf ult, and I don't think that's bad.
It's not
I think
too bad.
the League Ball team is very happy about getting that Olaf ult out of the way. Maybe they can make a last-ditch base defense here. We'll see.
It's not too bad, but you blew flash on Wisher.
That's the buster shot coming out of Tristana too.
Yeah, you're getting rid of all your big cooldowns for a team fight before the fight's even started. I honestly think they're gonna have a really hard time stopping Blue Side from just
Stylus
pushing this into the
hijack the
game.
unstoppable force too. We're gonna have to see if he can make something happen. But Malphite still has his own version of unstoppable force. We'll see if he goes on to the Tristana as soon as she gets close. That's what I suspect. And unstoppable force into Galio ult. The hero has landed. 3 champions knocked up, and I'm frozen.
I'm also
So-
frozen. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and just call it that Mop is probably gonna take this game and probably gonna take this fight. Red Side's team fighting was just really tragic this game. I mean, we saw Shen did a flash taunt, picked off 2 or 3 members with his flash taunt. Great engage. Nobody's there. Nobody's ready. And then suddenly you have Wisher Malphite ulting with a Galio on top of him after Shen is already dead.
Yeah.
Like, if you're actually able to line that up, and so Wisher is Malphite ulting right as the Shen flash taunt comes in, and Galio continues to CC them, maybe, even despite this gold lead, you can actually save your base, but they just couldn't line up their engage this entire game, and which is why they only managed to get 1 kill. They have all these globals, they have all these ways to pile on top of each other from anywhere on the map. They just couldn't line it up, couldn't make it work, and that's why they ended up losing.
And the globals would have been so oppressive if you were able to get that initial lead. But they were not, and because of that, I'm assuming Mop won the game.
Yeah,
I think
still
I'm going to be
frozen.
exiting the client now.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead. I don't know if the game's over for the teams, maybe they FF'd or something. I don't know exactly what happened. Who FF'd? Yeah, we're gonna turn it over to the analysts real quick. They're gonna break it down, and we'll be back with game 2.
I hope they're not. Hi, Lokish. Wait, right now?
Bet.
Is it like live on the Twitch? Oh.
So usually you come in with warnings, right?
Yeah, and also usually I'm not watching a fucking slideshow.
True.
It's okay. It happens. But it looks like we all predicted wrong. 3-0 Mop. Fuck.
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean,
come up.
Should have seen it coming.
they picked an aggressive comp to fight early and then played
Lokesh is the black
PvE the
screen.
entire game.
Yeah. I forgot about part 2 of the Mop plan, the Mop game plan, which is they usually always drop those super safe bot lanes. Is they do that because then later game they just fucking squad as 5 and roll through the other team and deny all types of engage. So like, plus, oh my god, Reggie went crazy with the objectives this game. I don't know how many plates and towers he got with those Rift Heralds, but
It was like good on him, but Kolma just was trying to finish his Feral Flare this game or something. Like he just did nothing.
Get that devoured. Oh man, yeah, it was
He's trying to finish his prowlers, like his prowler's dirk or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah,
Back
well,
in the
oh
day.
my god.
But he just did it in his own jungle instead.
Like you're not gonna out farm the Olaf. He had to just he didn't do anything until 12 minutes. He had to just flash on mid or something.
Yeah, especially because Reggie went so crazy top. They got the kill, right? I think, and then he burned flash, and then he came back. He did the good jungler thing where he comes back before the flash is back up, and then gets another kill. And that gave them a lot of control. And man, I mean, I don't know. Then it just got out of control, dude.
Like it looked bad, but it was just like League Ball did nothing and then got outskilled, and then the game was over. The game was over at like 12 minutes when nothing had been done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, after 12, when it was 5-0, it was a little bit rough. But even if it had been 0-0, it's still, I don't know. If it was 0-0 at 12 minutes, I think it still would have been pretty Mop favored because they do pretty well in team fights. I mean,
Yeah, the team fighting from Mop that game was just superiorly better. Like it was just so much better, and like it was just a very clustered game from watching League Ball. They were playing very scared in the early game. They didn't really do much at all. And then when it came to these team fights, you could tell they were just very like all over the place with it. They didn't really know what was going on.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the comp they want. If they just pick that again, and maybe if they're scared, just ban the Olaf. But if they have that, then they can just roll over early. I don't know why they were so afraid to do anything.
Yeah, my worst fear is that now They're like, oh, we got to play even safer because these guys are good.
Yeah.
So let's
Yeah.
take it even easier and
You don't
not
want
give
to
up
play
any
safer.
kills, and that'll be our win con. But that is the
Like,
opposite of how
they're
you
trying
beat
to play
Mop.
David versus Goliath, and they're David, and they're just gonna fucking concede it. Just be like, all right, fuck it. And
Like,
we're
you know
not
what?
gonna
Actually,
even
I'm gonna
try.
put the sling down. I'm gonna just
Yeah.
leave it on the ground, and I'll
Yeah.
just try talking to him, and I think that'll probably work for sure.
It's
I
not
don't know if it
working.
will. I don't
They
know if
just
it will.
they need to go out swinging at least. They're just
Yeah, I want to see some swings.
I mean, they start like Brandon tried to do some roams, and like they just didn't have vision. Like they didn't have the vision on Brandon, so like he was making these roams, and nothing would ever happen with these roams. And
yeah.
when Brandon would stack a mid lane to hopefully get his team ahead, like they just knew like when these things were happening. When you're playing Pantheon, you cannot be conceding the early game like this.
Yeah.
Like you have
Like
a
with
team comp that just runs over them.
it's a
Preset.
Syndra with no cleanse. Pantheon just goes mid and flashes on her and she's dead.
No, can he? No, doesn't Syndra just E Pantheon? Isn't that like the
If he flashes,
Counterplay?
like just flash W and she's dead.
Also, guy in the chat, I'm gold. So eat my ass. This is gold commentary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bronze? Oh, come on. Come on. We're high level players here. All of us are challenger basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
But also,
we hired actual analysts for this very real and high production cast, right? That's
Yep.
what we did.
yep. Only the best of the best were chosen. It wasn't
Hmm.
Wow,
the
gold.
three we could find.
But otherwise,
Yeah, I know. I didn't mean to flex that hard on you, buddy, but I feel like I just had to let you know.
otherwise, from the rude guy in the chat, what do you want to see from the game 2 here? What do we want to like? What do we want to see from League Ball? How do they come back from this?
I don't know. I mean,
absolute
if
shitstorm,
they want to
so-
play like that, then they need Kassadin or some jungle that skills.
Mm,
But I really
Yeah.
think that this comp like favors them if they just do stuff early.
yeah, I was hyped about their comp, but I
They
think
had a great team.
They need
comp.
a
Like
cast.
they did a lot of
that.
bamboozle to the Galio switch, and everything else, man. Like it was a really good comp from the start, but I just feel like they didn't know what to do with their champions at all.
I wonder. I'm wondering if they just picked the champs to like pick them away, and they're like, yeah, I played like 2 games ago. You know, I played a few games. You know, I know how to play these champs, but
I
maybe
mean,
comfort's the way to go.
you had 3 people playing champions they usually play. Never seen the Blue Sheds Galio. I think he was just doing it. Like who can't play Galio? But like the inexperience kind of showed because you didn't really take much fights in lane, and I feel like they didn't trust themselves enough to win that lane because they went into a D shield, into a Cole on the Tristana. They just really were okay with conceding that lane instead of trying to get something to happen in that lane. And the
Oh,
Pantheon
did she
jungle,
really go call? I didn't even see that. Oh
yeah,
man. Yeah,
the
that's
Pantheon jungle
fine, but-
just really was okay with conceding that jungle mashup. I mean, Olaf does beat Pantheon, but you do have a good 2v2 if you are able to get on top of someone and burst them out.
Yeah, it's just that's the thing. You think you have a good 2v2, but then they win the 2v2 every time, and it hurts. It sucks. Or they get the extra bits. I mean, and plus you had good. I liked Reggie. Man, they got Soul at. When did the game even end? Did it end at 20 minutes? How long was this game?
Close to.
It
Yeah,
was close. It was a quick
got
game.
Baron, so it had to be after 20. But yeah, it
Alright,
was just
they're
stop.
in pro draft now.
Oh, they are. Oh, well, let's move on over
Watching
to
League
that.
Ball with the Seraphine ban. They're gonna
Seraphine,
get
dude,
back up to-
Seraphine's scary. Honestly, though, I am like, if there's a Seraphine player, I do not want to see it.
Seraphine's a really disgusting champion right now. They're gonna definitely go for the 5-year-old ban strat, which fair to
Didn't work
Orion.
last
She's been
time.
playing
It's okay.
very well in this tournament, but
There's always another e-girl support though, or another shield caster support. So it's
yeah,
kind
there's
of like,
too many of them to ban them all out. They're
Can't do
definitely
it.
gonna want to go for the Olaf pick here, I think, for sure.
Hmm.
And I think we're gonna see a Kane follow up from that, a Kane pick, or maybe even a Rengar pick.
Oh, Rengar is
Rengar-
so fun. That'd be so fun.
They
True.
definitely are gonna ban out the Victor. They're gonna go for the Olaf here. They're not gonna get the Olaf. Mop, knowing exactly what they wanted to go for there. They didn't ban as many AD carries. They're gonna first pick the
Ooh.
Malphite.
They get
You know-
Johnny his Malphite.
That's pretty good. Johnny, I don't know if he was having a little bit of stage fright that game, but he was definitely mis-executing the Shen there a bit. He was missing his taunts early and got solo killed, which is not something you want to do. Giving up your level 6 advantage to the other laner there, not allowing you to use your globals. It's just not the best situation you want to find yourself in so early into the game. They're going to pick up the Caitlyn again. Time and time again, Top Dog has been playing Caitlyn, asserting his lane dominance even before the lane starts by making this man build a D shield.
Yeah, I really want to see if League Ball gets the Leona here. Like, Vinit just really didn't affect that last game like he normally did. Not, I don't know if that was because he was not as comfortable on the Galio or didn't think he could get anything done with it.
Mm-hmm.
Eh,
The Vayne
From
pickup.
scaling
That's
right there.
that's exactly what you want to
Ooh.
see. The Vayne Tarek. This really late game team comp. This team fighting team comp. Malphite Vayne Tarek. How do you get through that? Well, let's see what
Staff
Monka
Tarek
is going to
build.
pick up.
Oh man, it's gross.
The Soraka being locked in again. Soraka, really underrated champion right now. Just got buffed.
Wasn't
in
she
the
already
Moonstone.
good? I feel like she was already fine.
Yeah, she is good, but she's even better now.
Yeah, she's even better.
Because
That's what I'm saying. She's even. And Hecarim.
they're
is still
banning his Ivern.
king.
His
Yep.
Ivern.
Have to.
I think that's actually a pretty good ban.
I like the
obviously-
Galio ban.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Galio ban's great. I definitely think the Ivern ban's actually pretty good here. Ivern's one of the best junglers in the game right now. He has the Moonstone, Staff of the Flowing Water build that's been taking over solo queue and just being picked in LCK left and right. He's definitely something you want to ban out now because they're definitely playing towards this Vayne, and this Vayne is going to definitely go 1v9 mode. And how do you kill a Vayne with so many shields and a Terra card? They're going to ban out the Silas here so they don't take the Hecarim ult.
Washington needs a little bit of AoE to follow up on that Malphite ult, and they're golden.
I think what we're gonna see here is an Orianna pick for Washington League Ball. They're gonna save the red side pick for mid lane, and they're gonna pick Orianna for Washington League Ball. I think it's the only thing that makes sense here. If you're gonna go for the super duper wombo combo, they definitely need to go for the Orianna here. Orianna is historically the Vayne counter pick here, so you don't want that to go into the red side champion pool.
But Monka doing the thing they do best in drafting these like thick boys jungle top that can scrap and fight. Like they are ready for a 2v2. They are so ready for a 2v2. Soraka ult from downtown. Like, I mean, man.
I really like the
they're gonna
Tarek
be
into
tough.
the Hecarim because he can kind of like stunt that
Echo.
engage.
Echo, definitely another nice pickup here. Definitely gonna create. It's something you can do with Echo is you can split the teams up very well with your W. He's very well at spacing the enemy team here, but Mordekaiser is really good at denying spacing champions. So we'll have to see how those are played out.
That'll be interesting. Hopefully he doesn't
Ramus.
Oh my god, dude.
He's got the new ulti.
Wow.
He said, "Let me hop on in."
Wow.
Ramus locked in for Washington League Ball.
Okay, but if this Mordekaiser ults Vayne, like the team fight is over. They have
This is definitely a QSS angle for the Vayne.
yeah.
No,
Anivia.
dude, it's okay. Like, yeah, if Vayne gets fed, great. But I'm just a little bit worried about Hecarim fear into the backline, unstoppable into Mordekaiser ult or Anivia.
Well, that's why
stun,
that's
blow
why you
up.
have the Tarek ult to like kind of save you from that first like everyone
Yeah,
dive
hopefully.
in.
It's gonna take some coordination from Washington. They still have another. It's another volatile game where Monka Omega. I mean, man, if they make it to mid game and they're decently strong, it is hard to kill these guys. It is so hard to kill these guys. Caitlyn with her range, Hecarim, Mordekaiser with their health, and Anivia with egg, and Soraka healing behind all of that. It can get tough for Vayne to deal with all of it.
Well, let's look at the Anivia is actually a really good pick here. Washington League Ball has a really good team fight, but they don't have a great siege. And when you don't have a great siege, like what you have to rely on to siege is the lack of enemy wave clear, and that just got completely solved with the Anivia and Caitlyn pickup.
Man,
That's unfortunate that the Anivia pick. Brandon really doesn't want to play against Anivia.
Yeah, but mid has a lot of gank set up. Like if Ramus just comes, they can kill her pretty easily.
that's true. Yeah, if she has no flash, that's
I
a
think
good
that
place
Ramus
to look.
pick's pretty good here, but it is a volatile pick because you don't want to get behind on Ramus. You need to do things pretty early on It is
Well-
kind of a snowbally tank jungler, but you still scale decently well. But if you're gonna be playing Rammus, you got to be
Well-
doing things early because you could just be playing something else. You could be playing Hecarim. You could be playing all these other junglers that do your job but better.
Yeah, my only concern is Rammus is going to fall behind. I mean, we already saw him fall behind last game in farm and stuff, even straight out the gate on the first clear, and it's going to be even worse this game. Hecarim's a farming machine. Rammus is the exact opposite of that.
He takes
Also,
his time.
League Ball, one thing is like the 3 tank champions they have scale off of armor. Like as they're like Herrick scales off of armor, Malphite scales off of armor, Rammus
Yeah.
armor, not MR. And they've got they've got Anivia Mordekaiser, and Anivia swear to God does like 1,000,000 damage in a combo to even the tankiest of tanks. And they're gonna have to build like tons of MR this game. Because that's most of the damage is gonna be from Mordekaiser spin, passive, and Anivia spin
sure.
ult. And it's gonna I mean man, there's no more adaptive helm in this game, and I don't know, the tanks won't be as tanky as we are hoping they will be, I don't think.
I agree, and definitely something you want to see. For if you're Mop, you definitely want to see some resources go into your Nivea here. This is your only source of wave clear, and it's definitely going to be the most damage on the. Definitely going to be the most damage coming out from you, unless your Hecarim gets absurdly fed. But
Which I mean that will never happen because like their jungler is like pretty average, right?
No, the Hecarim is Regidice.
the Hecarim's Regidice? Oh, okay. Maybe
Yeah.
he might get fed though.
Maybe
Yeah,
he'll
he's
get
he's
fed.
all right. He's all right.
He's alright. He's pretty good. He's like a master tier challenger
VP of
player?
the entire season or whatever, I think.
Yeah,
if I'm
he's
remembering
alright.
correctly. Oh, my bad. Yeah, I guess I forgot. Yeah, he probably won't get fed though.
Yeah, he probably won't get fed. He's
Yeah,
okay.
it just looks rough.
He's no Colma 25.
Exactly. He's not the dude. If he has the Bowser Rammus skin,
He might
That
actually
might be
do
the win
something on
con.
Pantheon.
God, I'm so worried, guys. What's another?
That was a little bit of
Well,
BM, but
I'm just gonna cut in really quickly to show what happened to the client off of our caster's request.
Alright.
Hold up.
Client bugs.
Client bugs. Client bugs.
Client bugs.
Client bugs.
Oh baby. Wait, I can subscribe to. Wait, I can subscribe to VCU Esports.
wow.
As you can
Oh,
see,
wow,
there are
really?
10
Wow,
people in a
wow.
Summer's Rift draft lobby.
That's a really good. That's
God.
really.
Whoa,
Hey,
that's
bro.
crazy.
We broke it. Yeah.
We did break it.
That was a. I see all the casters that requested that, and look at that. So we got
Yeah.
3 minutes to talk about this game. What do you guys think? What's gonna go down in this game? Do you think League Ball's gonna come back swinging, or is this just gonna be another quick stop for Mop, and they're just gonna get the VCLCS? They're just gonna speed run the VCLCS finals.
Man,
I
hope
mean,
it's
I
not a
hope
speedrun.
it's just on Colma. Like Colma just needs to gank and set up stuff. They have a lot of ways to set up and kill like these immobile carries, but he's just got to actually go there and do something early.
Oh, something I forgot to think about was Rammus with Chem Tank sounds good, right? But then they changed all those tank items, and I don't know anything about them now. So what's up with the tank items
I mean,
now?
he's still good
Chem
with
Tank?
Kempink.
Yeah,
It's cheaper. That's cool. But
it just
They
does
lost
less
armor?
damage.
Oh yeah, so it just scales like it scales with damage rather than just giving you immediate damage now.
oh, okay. Well, that might be okay to go. I mean, I don't know. If he can roll it down and just start, I mean, he just probably roll it down mid a couple times.
You
Get
need
Echo a
to see
couple
this man
kills.
pick up the Udyr next game if something goes wrong here.
Honest to God, dude, Udyr is literally the truth.
I mean, it's just on League Ball to do something early. If it's another game where they're just farming, and then Monka's team comp is just gonna roll them again.
Yeah,
I just don't think,
especially if
like-
they walk into Reggie.
I think it's gonna be so hard for Vayne to like, even if she gets fed, I think it's gonna be so hard for her to survive these fights. If
I
she
think
doesn't have
it's-
flash,
If she has a Rammus Taric sitting on her, he taunts away the Hecarim, and then the Echo Malphite just dive and kill the Caitlyn Soraka. Like it's maybe winnable, but
there's a chance. It's just I feel like it's so hard.
and Nivea and
'Cause-
Mordekaiser
okay,
are
alright,
gonna be
alright.
annoying.
They really
Imagine
need to
the
start
scenario.
throwing bans toward the Soraka. I think.
Yeah.
This
Well,
shit
imagine the
is
scenario.
too
Okay,
much.
Washington dives onto Monka, kills Caitlyn Soraka. Monka dives onto Washington, kills Vayne. Maybe also Taric if he goes like Moonstaff.
I mean, then
The 3v3 is like.
that sustained fight because they got.
I mean, yeah,
Olivia and
you're just
Echo.
But that's
League Ball's just hoping they're ahead enough that they kill Caitlyn Soraka
Yeah.
faster.
And they're hoping the
they
Vayne
can
definitely
Hecarim
the
off.
Vayne can kite all that stuff back.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's probable with your team comp. Like you have
Could
two
happen.
tanks that can frontline for you, but you just gotta make sure you invest in a QSS early. You gotta invest into these things that are gonna keep you alive.
Yeah.
Like these moonstones and these staff of the flowing water Tarek, like these things that can keep you alive, like this rock has been doing for them. So if they play like a more front to back team comp, I can definitely see them winning this. But after that last game, I'm not too pressed. We got 10 seconds, so we're gonna throw it over to our casters. We'll see you guys after this game.
Yeah, after the
Indeed.
game.
I'm gonna mute.
All right, sweet. Well, we are now loading on into the lobby as a couple new voices come on in. I am Kyle, or Cherish, or Bottom 3 ADC, as I played in the tournament. And joining is also still Josh, as well as Mary.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hello. We're excited for this game. Hopefully it's a more back and forth affair as our last game. I think they wanted to get their end game out of the way. So if they want to win draft again and lose game, let's see if they can do it twice in a row. So
That's ambitious to say that, but you're right. So
I mean, besides the Soraka pick, I think they won draft. Like,
Well, yo, that's such a pretty Soraka skin. I'm
it
sorry.
really is.
It's just
Is
so
that's
pretty.
that's the prestige
The
one of the
Prestige
new
edition,
one that they put
yeah.
out.
Oh, it's so
Mhm.
pretty.
standard 5-point coming in. It's almost perfectly aligned. This is perfect symmetry.
Yeah. I mean, there's not really much more you're going to see in VCU LCS. Everyone loves the 5-point.
Not our
So
team. We
that
always
is
ran
just
it
how
somewhere.
it is. Also, something to note is there are double TPs, but I would say probably not to fully expect 4-mans just because,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, neither side really. It's just you're bringing in extra damage or extra bodies. Like the Anivia isn't going to do all that much pre-6. Mordekaiser's not going to do a massive amount. Malphite's not going to do a whole lot.
Well,
Granted,
what the
Echo
new
will do a
Anivia-
bit, but
With the new Anivia update, she definitely has a stronger early game for these 2v2 situations, but it depends on who if Kolma and Echo go on at the same time, go on the same target, they're definitely going to win that 2v2. But if it's more of a long, drawn out fight, definitely going to see the red side win that 2v2.
The lane for Beoraga and Bluches is a little bit rough, just because that Soraka took Airy and because the Kaelin will just poke him out with fleet footwork.
Brandon's already half HP with 1 Q and some auto attacks.
yeah, we were already talking a little bit beforehand about the strength of the newer Anivia, or not necessarily reworked, but adjusted, I guess is how
Revitalized.
I'd put it. Yeah, already Wisher's taking a huge brunt of damage from this pick.
Mhm.
Just
Oh, wow.
hitting the stun off is actually.
Ooh, the
Oh,
condemned
Bayo's not
second.
able to hit the
That-
stun on
That
the
would have been
wall.
huge.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it'd been huge.
Maybe a flash would have gotten out of it.
Yeah, but at the same time, for anything to come off of it, Bayo would have had to, or rather, Bluches would have had to probably flash stun for that.
Well, I would think a flash when your guys are probably in the driver's seat when it comes to the ganks is definitely worth it. And when your objective is to get the Vayne very ahead, taking plays like that is definitely acceptable.
Yeah, we see Bluches here taking a beating. Just that poke lane is kind of insane.
Good thing you're Tarek and your auto attacks heal you.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, but you have to walk up to them to heal them. So I don't think if you're Tarek, you really want to just wait for the wave to push and then take some minions off the front line.
It's not now in the new mythic age, we're not really seeing Terex go tier, right? Like, I know that was something that started to come up in the past a year or so beforehand, but yeah, I don't think Terex go tier anymore to compensate for that just mass heal style of play.
Colma finding himself in a bit of trouble. He coin flipped wrong on which scuttle he actually went to. So now he's actually going to lose both scuttles when he could have taken the scuttle for scuttle trade. So definitely some misplay coming in from Colma. He's already down 4 camps. Not something you want early. Well, it's about to be 4 camps, but yeah, he's down 4 camps early.
Yeah. Well, it's almost 4 because of the worth of Scuttle Crab.
It's gonna be 4 because he's also gonna lose his wolves, unless.
Unless. I mean, otherwise, this is just how the early game was anticipated to play out. Bot lane's very safe. Mord and Malphite are never gonna kill each other unless JK
Unless you miss your taunt.
steps out of place. I mean,
we can see the CS difference. We have our boy JK Yoko down about 10 CS. It's actually about a 10 CS in every lane except the bot lane. But we got a good trade coming in from Bayrog onto Soraka here.
Actually, we're gonna get into some action really fast. In comes Cole. Oh, okay. Well, just kidding. At least Top Dog's flash as well as Ori's flashes are burnt.
That's really great for blue side.
Yeah, no, that's pretty big actually. In fact, considering the lane placement that Bayraga has managed to pull it into, especially considering the range difference that Caitlyn Vayne brings. The Caitlyn not choosing to keep it in her half of the lane is pretty interesting.
I'm just surprised you don't see Colma ditch his camps and just go straight back for it. That's a free kill right there. Free killer too. But he's just gonna go towards his top side. Needs to farm up a little bit. He's already down a lot of camps and lots of level.
Well, you see the Soraka pick actually coming in really clutch. Soraka is a really good pick against Rammus just because her E will cancel and silence him from rolling into you. But I think we will see Reggie start to move towards the dragon here, especially
He's
since
definitely gonna get a free dragon.
I remember the days where it wouldn't stop his Powerball because it used to not be a channel, and then they changed it to a channel.
Was that the days when Soraka also had a free?
I think that was when she had
mana
point
boost?
and click, or give herself mana.
Yeah, that was the best days when she could give mana to other champions.
That was a wild time, to be fair. But like you had mentioned, first dragon at 6.5, pre-6.5 rather, is going to go down as Reggie is getting very aggressive on this pick. He is equal farm with his laners, and Colma is feeling the pressure at this point. Reggie is at level 6, even with both solo laners, while Colma is scavenging for whatever scraps of his own jungle he can at level 4.
Yeah. Definitely that scuttle misplay definitely snowballing into a huge lead for Regidice here. Might end up losing this scuttle and maybe his own red buff, but his bot lane is close by. Now they're in the base. So maybe not as close by as
I would think Top Dog probably shoves out this lane. Well, that's a bit aggressive actually.
Yeah.
So Reggie's just gonna go for his own red. I mean, this is, I think, just the passive early game we were expecting, though.
I think when you're watching League Ball, you need to make these plays early because you are just going to get out macroed and out pathed by Reggie naturally. So you have to counteract that by just causing as much chaos and making the situation for Reggie a lot more it's just a lot more concerning for him. He has to have more things in his mind when he's farming these camps. Now he's going to take a very telegraphed approach to the game. That he's probably
I think if you're Colma, you have to just go right bot right now because ignore your top side, give it to Reggie. That's fine. You need to work on getting this Vayne ahead, like you were saying before. And now you've got a minute and a half left on the flashes being down.
No, he's gonna go straight back towards his top side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the win condition for League Ball in the they had to get really ahead in the early game, or they just have to wait out the game so long that Vayne and Tarek just become unstoppable, and Echo can just destroy the backline because they do not win this mid game.
It's looking like kind of a snoozer, but it's also looking like it's gonna end up like there's gonna be one fight where one team's just gonna win that fight, and it's probably gonna set the pace for the game. But I'm more
That's a
inclined
VCU
for-
LCS specialty. And then they're
You
like,
either
no,
have
you have the
20
game.
kills by 7.5 minutes, or you have
Okay, Colma
one
could
kill
be
at
looking
20
here.
minutes.
This could
Good
be
sir,
the
you can have the game.
okay. This is gonna be a 3v3 here. Colma's looking.
Yeah. Well, in comes the silence to stop the Powerball once again, but Bayo is taking such a beating, and he's gonna get stomped right away. He has to flash
Okay.
out as now
TP
in
coming
comes
in,
the
TP
unstoppable
get-
onslaught. Reggie's trying to make something happen, but between the Terracult and just the healing from the Soraka, neither side will be dying. As Reggie is looking aggressively regardless, but all he's gonna
Brandon
find
has to ult there.
is a Krug's camp.
Yeah, that was a little disastrous from both sides. Really weird how both of them decided to play that fight out. Just a lot of overcommitment and undercommitment from both sides.
Yeah, what you
Yeah.
actually see is that Bayo Raga didn't actually get in the Terracult there because he flashed away. But Colma is going to take a beating from that level 8 pony.
Oh man, he is just
Level
getting
5
world
Ramus.
world starred.
It's not like you're sitting there looking at Ramus like, man, what a massive power spike he pulls at level 6.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it's just Reggie is almost equal level, if not already there with his solo laners. Like,
Oh no.
Colma's not even 6
Happening.
yet.
Oh, he's not even gonna get 6. Poor Colma.
Oh, that's so sad.
Nope, he's getting his blue buff stolen away
And Gromp.
alongside his Krugs. Or his Gromp, rather.
This is where you just spam gank bot.
I think so. Well, Reggie's
Let's
trying
go.
to hit that 10 CS a minute in the jungle.
Okay,
as
we got
well.
a TP coming in from behind here.
Oh yeah, actually, I just noticed that Equivalent TP'd in, and Bayo's gonna fall for this. Actually, Equivalent's not quite able to make it happen yet, but there it is. Finally, the first blood coming in, as Equivalent played with his food a little bit there, thanks to the healing from Ori. With that, more plates should go down on this side, as it may even result in a good bit of fighting on the top
This could
side. In
be a
fact,
really good fight.
Blue
for
Chess
top
has
side.
roamed up as now it's a
Really
4-on-2.
great roam.
Wisher's gonna get a big shutdown onto Reggie here, and it's just the Mordekaiser, sorry, on his
Wow.
lonesome. A double kill goes the way of Wisher's Echo, and that is one of the 2 points that you
That's-
needed to get ahead on this Washington League Ball
That's
side.
exactly what you needed. A really good counter play from the blue side. You know, they took last game. They kind of just took it. They just kind of took it. You know, they didn't make anything happen when things happened to them. But this game, they decided to go for the Rift Herald. Reggie kind of just came back in, and he got punished for it.
Yeah, really good play by Blue Chess, walking all the way up, having a 4-on-2 over the Rift Herald. And actually, I don't, even though they took first tower bot, this is a really good situation for Vayne because she can just farm it up. She doesn't even have to
Mhm.
take the trades in order to farm really well and get the gold and XP she needs.
And Vayne's not like really losing that much out of this. Like, she's
I mean,
gonna.
you already know that you're not going to win like these objectives, right? Because your jungler is 3 levels down, so why not just do exactly what Bayrock is doing and keeping the lane where it is?
Ooh,
Mhm. This freeze.
side
That's-
lane freezing. I love it.
You love to see it. Nothing's gonna make them come to you and get an extra 300 gold off of them.
Yeah. So now the thing
Okay,
is,
we got a play coming in top side
oh,
for blue side.
actually, yeah, I just noticed. Blue Chess alongside Colma are running it into Damage Prodigy here. The Mordekaiser is going to be
ult for
taunted up
Mordekaiser.
and stunned, but there's just no damage coming in. He's lost half his health, and in comes finally the Malphite to finish things off. That was almost painful to watch, but not wasting his flash either.
He pulled up the turbo.
It was
Thanks for that
slowly
one.
tickling him, dude. I forgot.
Alright,
Kim
another
Tank
play
got
coming
the,
in
What's
bot.
going on bot?
Oh my god, I was not expecting Bayo to
This
get
could be it.
dove
This
under
is
his
it.
tower at 13 minutes, but he's going to fall thanks to Reggie alongside Equivalent. Reggie's pretty low as
my.
well, and it's Wisher dying before he can ult. Getting the Jensen treatment for a moment as Equivalent picks up a double kill for himself, and I think right to counter back, Josh, at what you were saying, that
Mhm.
the league ball trying to make a big play gets countered right back.
Yeah, and it looked like the bot side play was even going to go their way, actually, but a little bit ambitious towards Bararaga to walk towards the Anivia. A big dive coming in bot, a flash coming in. He is going to live. He's going to stun up the
Oh,
Spectrum.
Guardian!
Guardian.
The Guardian
gamers.
shield at the very end, able to save Blue Jays. In fact, yeah,
Very
that
well
was
played.
crazy.
That was just too easy for him. What can we say? But that's
all planned out.
okay. A little bit
little
of a fight
ambitious.
coming in.
Blue Jays did have to burn a lot for that. Did burn the Terra Gold, which means that next time Vayne gets ganked, it's not going to be pretty. And also had to burn his flash just to live through that. But, you didn't give Reggie a kill, so that's always a plus.
Yeah, I feel
looks
like at this
Reggie's
point you're
getting
really
carried by
trying to
mid
just
this game.
at this point you're really trying to just do whatever you can hope to do to keep not necessarily keep Reggie down because he's not down at all. You're just trying to not boost him that much further.
Yeah, I mean, did you see the same early game that I saw? Like,
I'm still seeing
I
the
would never
aftermath.
say he's down.
I'm still seeing the aftermath of this early game in that Ori is equal level with Kolma right now. So,
a sad little Rammus.
well, he's gotten his chem tank at the least, so he's going to be
Powers.
flying into these Soraka silences at Mach 10.
I wouldn't even say the Vayne's in a really bad spot. Just gotta farm up a little bit more. Just catch the side waves for about. I mean, ideally you don't want to give this dragon, but you can. But you gotta fight the next one.
I'm not sure you have much of a choice but to give this dragon.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I don't know if you want to walk over there, dude.
Yeah, Malphite's gonna get every bit of CC sent his way, and now thankfully Kolma will block him after he uses that ultimate as well as the
shield.
flash. Sorry, as I blanked on the most common summoner spell. Yeah.
I don't know
I
about
mean,
the comments.
This is just running over at this point. I mean, snowballing coming up for some reason. The Anivia ult, I guess whenever he uses it, has a red question mark on the side panel.
Well, Riot Games is really good at their game making.
You can't fault
process.
the small indie company.
Yeah, they don't have many people on staff. There's over 200 years of game design.
Well,
When are they gonna pick Aphelios?
Oh,
last game was a perfect Aphelios spot for Mop, and they chose to pick Caitlyn. So,
Well, I think that's just because he mains Caitlyn and just plays a bunch of Caitlyn, so he's definitely just gonna stay to comfort. It's not the best champion by any means, but it's what he's good at. So
yeah.
that's really interesting that both Malphite and Rammus decided to go for the turbo chem tank. Excuse me, and not for any of the Frostfire or the Sunfire cape. It's interesting that they both went for it. Like, I would expect someone to pick something like a little bit more tanky.
yeah, they're gonna fight for this drag.
I would have thought the Malphite would go for the chem tank or the Frostfire at the least, but already a big stun is going to come in from Wisher. That's a 3-man as he immediately ults away though. Kolma's getting in, and a 3-man ult as well from the Malphite is going to secure damage Prodigy before he can hit the ult off. Reggie is also fallen, and hopefully Bayo can start ramping up here on this Vayne, but he's only found one, but that one was big in finding Reggie. Now the dragon is going to be started up 4v3, but there's so much area denial from Equivalent here on this Anivia. He's not afraid to step up at all with the support of Ori on the backside. Neither is this Caitlyn of Top Dog. And on his own too, Kolma's taking a beating. Wisher's forced to flash out. Bayo is being pushed away solo by Equivalent here. on this Anivia, as Kolma's going to suicide.
Oh
And
my!
it's
Oh my
equivalent to
goodness.
secure the dragon of all things here.
A little
As
bit of a mistake from Washington Leap Ball here. Kolma goes in with very low health, hoping to draw aggro away from the dragon, but in that they lose the smite. And the Soraka, with the dragon at 9 health, ends up getting it.
that.
I think that Nivea actually got it, but still, the crazy play. Oh my! Nivea might kill him again.
What? Yeah, well,
Oh my!
the Anivia is going to burst him. It doesn't even matter if you hit the stun or miss the stun rather there from equivalent. That Vayne was too low as it stood, and she just did not have that ramp up early game that she had or that she needed to have, and we're kind of seeing the after effects of that. She's not able to really get in on this far range comp either, and it's a big struggle here for the big AD dealer of or an AD damage dealer of League Ball.
But credit to where credit's due. They played that fight at the beginning very great. It's amazing setup from Brandon and a crazy good Malphite ultimate to keep them in the cryostasis. Just making sure they stay still and just get unloaded by all the damage that Washington League Ball had to offer there. But again, it seems like they just didn't know when to back off, so they took a little bit of damage towards the bot tower, and then once they went to the dragon, that's when Anivia just went a little bit crazy and just started using all of her AoE damage, killing the Rammus and taking the dragon.
Yeah, there was so much zone control afforded by equivalence Anivia there. They were free to do whatever they pleased. So, moving forward, there's still not much macro play going on outside of these dragons, but we're going to be looking at, I think it's a 24-minute timer or so for this Cloud Soul to be picked up. And to be fair, I think there's a couple good champs. I think it's pretty good for equivalent, honestly, as well as obviously Reggie on the champion whose AD scales with movement speed to get movement speed after casting your ult. But
Cloud Soul's not the end of the world for
that's the thing. Cloud Soul is not at all the end of the world. Dragon Soul in the general is not the end of the world. It just feels good on some champions.
Okay, we got a fight coming in.
But yeah, Reggie is going to start it off onto Wisher. Sorry, he's not able to finish that one off as the Malphite is going to go in and find not really much. Reggie's going to counter ult, and down will fall the Malphite eventually there. But not much is coming back in response. Blue Chest is going to be knocked back thanks to Reggie. In the meantime, on the top side, Bayaraga is going to be able to 1v1 damage Prodigy, but what is that really worth when you're Inhib Tower here in the mid lane?
Might be worth Inhib and Baron.
Yeah. I mean, you picked up the TP-less Mordekaiser and a couple bits of farm, not even enough to proc your call. And you lose an inhibitor at 22 minutes for it.
This game definitely more action-packed than the last one, thankfully, but it's still seeming like a bit of a mop, a little bit of a stop. I wouldn't call it a hard stop, but it is a mild stop when it comes down to the objective control that they have, the sheer macro control that they are displaying. But it is not over by any means. You definitely have a strong Vayne coming up soon. His Cole is almost done. He's about to be a 2-item Vayne. And your Echo does some serious damage here. Orion really needs to worry about where she is positioning herself in these fights. If she gets caught or something like that, that could be the move that swings this momentum into the Washington League Ball's favor.
I mean, you gotta look at the division control here. Like, not only is Blue Side's jungle completely warded out, like they're about to get vision on this Baron. And probably get that scuttle. Yep, right about now.
And the dragon's coming up.
Yeah, so there's just not too much Blue Side can do. Like they have to give this drag, or if they fight for it, they're going to be at a very big disadvantage because they know exactly where they are.
I say
there are 3 Blue Side wards, or 4. There's one on the Baron. There's one in the top lane River Brush, a pink in the top lane Tri Brush, and that little brush outside the bot lane base gate. There are 4 wards for Blue Side.
And then you look at Red Sides, and that's just it's completely lit up.
It is a
It's a fireworks show. It's so
Yeah.
lit up.
well.
It looks like they
Off of
might
that,
actually fight.
Kill, I think, is just going to go away. Damage Prodigy is going to be TP'd in onto the backside of Red Team, and the big ult comes in from the Malphite. In the meantime, Reggie is looking and lurking for his own. He's stalling out as he actually used it to get away. Damage Prodigy is falling back as it doesn't seem like Mop fully wants to commit. They're fine chipping away between the Caitlyn and the Anivia, letting Reggie just work his way on in. Blue Chest is going to take a hit from that Caitlyn ultimate as Bayo is going to be the sacrificial lamb, and he will fall, sending Reggie onto a rampage
Mm-hmm.
and giving away the Baron at this point with a 5k gold lead. It's going to be Mop sending themselves a bit further in this game.
Yeah, unfortunately for League Ball, there they Mob knew exactly where they were. The Mordekaiser was gonna TP down, and they just take that dragon like so fast. So and now they get dragon and Baron and Bayoraga.
Well,
It's a crazy, unfortunate fight. At the beginning of the fight, it seems like Blue Chaz used his locket on nothing since I think he actually was trying to use a pink ward instead, but he used his locket, so that was a big cooldown taken away from them. They're gonna lose their top tower now.
Terracolt wasn't actually up for that fight either, so I don't think you fight when Terracolt isn't up. I think you just get off.
Absolutely not. But it seems like Vineet wanted to put down a pink ward and accidentally popped his locket there, so that's not something you want to be doing. But the Vayne is coming in on the 2-3 item power spike. Vayne is kind of strong right now. It's something you do have to take into consideration.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Washington is really particularly outright out of this game. It definitely is
very hard game state.
Obviously, in a fight around this point, assuming they can just start funneling resources into him, Bayraga's Vayne is just going to be better in a fight than the Caitlyn, especially considering it seems that Top Dog is just going for a raw single target focus build. I believe he's going for that Infinity Edge third. There's no fire cannon. There's no hurricane. They're really focusing on equivalent for being that area damage, and assuming they can get a good fight, Bayraga hopefully should be able to just snowball away in that fight, but it's still just so hard considering how far ahead Red Side is.
I think you might just say go next on this one, League Ball. They got the Baron. If you wait 3 minutes, they'll get Elo Dragon.
We've even seen perfect fights from them, that third dragon, and they just, not necessarily perfect, but very, very fantastic fights for them, and they end up losing it. They lost that third dragon because
Echo might be in trouble here.
Yeah. Well,
he has Echo. He's probably fine.
It's pretty hard to chase down
him.
Echo. Reggie really wants this. He's gonna rip the ult at some point. Nope.
Well, they're gonna ult
It's not gonna do anything either. Well, he's gonna rip the ult into the rest of the team though, as the Malphite or the Mordekaiser is gonna pull in Blue Chez. Malphite will fall, but in the back line, in comes Brandon. Wisher is doing work on this Echo for what he's worth, but it's just not worth all that much. Blue Chez will fall soon enough here, hopefully. He's going to get walled off and smashed by Damage Prodigy for his first kill of the game. And with that, it is now up to 12 kills for Mop, and they will mop this one up. Not really missing a beat in this game either, same as game one. And unless Wisher can pull off the absolute defense of the Alamo alongside Colma, this one is through and through.
It's not much like the history books. They're just going to be looking for that game 3 reverse sweep, it seems.
Yeah. Well,
that just wraps up game 2 then.
Whew.
Almost as fast as the first one, but a little more back and forth. Definitely a more exciting game, I believe. It looked like League Ball could have won it at certain points. It was a really good fight at that third dragon, but a bit of blundering towards the end of the dragon fight really put them in a position they didn't want to be in. Flashless Vayne, and a Vayne caught off from their 3-item power spike. Wow, their Anivia and this really fed Hecarim just ran over them.
I mean, you look at the damage charts, and Vayne and Echo are up there in the numbers. They're doing like a little bit less damage than Anivia and Hecarim and Caitlyn, but it's just hard. It's too hard to pop off as Vayne in the mid game and in the early game. So congrats to Mop on game 2. I think we'll be going over to the analyst desk to take a closer look at the game.
Yep.
Hello.
And welcome to the State Farm Analyst Desk. The VCU State Farm Analyst Desk.
That one
Did we miss that? I think we forgot to mention those. Man, that was another rough one, guys.
That was another rough one.
It's too hard.
That was a heartbreaker. And they had moments in that game that really looked good for them. That fight at the Dragon being a very notable one, where they got the really crazy Echo ultimate and the Malphite.
Bot lane got shafted. They lost bot lane turret before first Herald.
Yeah, that's the lane there. That's the rough part of that lane. Caitlyn and Vayne.
And Rammus came and blew their flashes once, but he didn't do anything after that.
Yeah, a lot like we were saying on the casters table. Like that dude needs to ditch his top side and just straight by.
They got Herald, and then Rammus and Malphite got plates while the rest of their team died in bot jungle.
They probably need to coordinate something too. Like, hey, Echo, let's get that wave in. We gotta run. We gotta run it down bot. No flashes.
And then
30 left.
League Ball was just taking fights before they had items completed. Like that one dragon fight, Echo didn't even have second item yet.
So where do you guys think the game really went wrong there? Like, was it at the champ select, or do you think they just mis-executed somewhere?
I feel like their comp could have worked, but they just the Rammus just again didn't get anything done. Like he blew bot lane's flashes, but after that, he's just getting flame horizoned by the Hecarim. So
exactly. So that's what I wanted to touch on a bit. Like the Rammus pick really did not look good in that game, and I feel like a lot of that was attributed to the level 3 Scuttle fiasco that the casters were talking about, where he gave up the Scuttle Crab and walked all the way bot side to hopefully get to that Scuttle Crab, but he coin flipped wrong on where he thought Regidice was. So he ended up losing both Scuttle Crabs and some of his topside jungle, leading to an early game Flame Horizon, which he just couldn't come back from. He was 3 levels down. He just was really unable to do anything when Reggie was all up in his jungle. So Brandon couldn't do anything either. So how does Brandon help bot lane when your jungler is just getting Flame Horizon so hard early?
Yeah, something we forgot to mention in champ select is that basically what Reggie picks is champions that farm, and do Canes and Hecarim, they can power farm and they can run it down a lane.
They can scrap. They can scrap really well.
They can scrap. They can, if they're at Scuttle, you are leaving Scuttle because they are there between at level 3, and you do not beat them level 3. You know what I mean? So it's those are the champions he picks. So when you go Rammus, if it's okay for your team, it gives you a little front line, a little engage, it's actually so hard to play into Hecarim because he's gonna power farm and you're playing Rammus who can't farm. He's not as fast.
I feel like speed. Their comp had a win condition, but both comps had the same win condition, but they're just not executing the win early, scrap aggressively. So I feel like they have to just try and see if they can pick a team comp that will scale a little bit better.
I mean, I feel like their team comp still had good scaling. I think a lot of the issues stemmed from just the mis-execution of the team comp, and I feel like the Rammus pick is just
really that's what I'm saying. Rammus just has to get something done early because he's just gonna be way more useless than the other jungler.
One thing I would really like to see as an adaptation coming into this game, I think they have side selection again because they lost. I would like to see them pick blue side and actually ban out the Soraka, because this Soraka is too much budget for their buck. So they have to put so much more resources into killing the Soraka than it's worth. So at this point, I think they need to get rid of the Soraka, just get rid of the E-Girl champs,
They're trying, dude. They're trying though. That's the hard part.
But they need to get rid of Soraka the most because that one is just clearly
That's why
just
Mop's
doing
so
their
scary
bidding.
because their bot lane will always have a shield support and they will never be punished for blowing all their flashes because I am not. No one's good enough jungler. It's too hard.
Damn, we don't need to at Coma like that. What one thing we really
No,
need
me
to
too.
see-
That's why I'm
I
saying
mean-
me too, dude. In our game, I couldn't.
Like
I couldn't do it.
Caitlyn Straka should be getting punished. Like they took bot turret at 10 minutes without Herald.
Yeah, which
Mhm.
means they're at bot turret for
Yeah.
10 minutes. You know what I mean? And they got. Oh man, it's just so hard to beat them because they have that strong top side. They got the safe bot lane. Then they end up running as 5, and it's like.
One thing I think we really needed to see from, I feel like the itemization for the League Ballers was a little bit off because if I feel like the Moon Staff build, the Moonstone Staff the Flowing Water build is really good. So you could have definitely thrown something like that on an Ivern jungle instead of dealing with this really bad Rammus pick that doesn't even scale very well.
Well, that
Or
was
you
they
should've-
banned Ivern, I think, right? Because
Yeah,
they picked
but
Vayne, so
they
they banned
banned
it
it-
second round.
Did they ban it at first rotation?
Second rotation.
Well, I feel like still you
Who did they
should
get?
be
They got
you should be
Vayne?
prio picking these champions that can help like your team comp. Like you were playing a disengaged peel comp for your Vayne, and you could do and it just didn't make sense to pick Rammus there for that. And one thing I feel like the Tarek could have done there as well, it was also just build Moonstone and Staff there. I mean, I guess Locket really does help for the Hecarim
Oh,
and the Mordekaiser, but the sustained fights that they were taking was lost because they were just a little bit lacking on the healing and the survivability.
I hate to say it. I hate to call him out, but at the last drag fight, I think he blew Locket before the fight started.
Yeah, he
Oh,
definitely-
I hate to say it, but okay, but I will give him the Herald roam. Masterpiece. Masterpiece. He won them that
I really
Herald.
want to see them get Olaf for Colma because
Yeah,
he
that'd be
just will
nice.
be able to farm and that he can still come to fights. And then Brandon's been
Comfort.
playing a lot of the Oriana Moonstaff build in solo queue. So like
Mhm.
he can scale a little bit better with that and then try to get a
was
good bot
really-
lane.
I was really hoping he would pick up the Oriana that game. It really looked like an Oriana angle. Like you wanna I feel like playing Echo is fine there, but playing an Oriana and sticking with your Vayne and making sure that you're on the same page and ulting people off your Vayne would have been such a great thing for that, and it would have definitely saved him for a few of those fights, I guess. And but he
They
did play
sacked the
Echo pretty
Vayne.
well.
They sacked the Vayne so much, like they were going so much top. She was so poor, so she couldn't get a QSS, and so like
Yeah,
fights
she
were
got
just
to-
over.
She got to freeze and farm sideways though.
Yeah.
After the tower was
Yeah.
gone. That was good. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, how was the mid matchup? What do you guys think about like Echo versus Anivia? Like,
I
is that
think
because they
Echo
picked
just-
Echo second? So is that like, was he supposed to be getting
Echo,
kills there? Was he
Echo
supposed to be
got
getting roamed?
counterpicked. Echo got counterpicked.
Oh, did he
but-
really? Oh, shoot.
Yeah, they saved the Nivea for last pick, which is
Uh-huh.
weird. Nivea is usually a really blindable champion right now. So I think Nivea just straight up bodies that matchup early. But there is some counterplay to it. You can play around your E and your ultimate a bit better. He sometimes forgot the ult and he would ult back into the ult and have it below his flash. But again, if you play something that can silence or any of that good stuff, it's really great into the Anivia. But that's one thing they had a really hard time with. The Anivia just picked up so many kills early, and
He did,
it
yeah,
just
she
became
did
a
have a lot.
monster with his zone control.
That dragon fight was a tough one too. If they were able to, I don't know, somehow get past the Anivia stuff and
Mhm.
try to fight 4v3 before they got poked out by the bear, or sorry, by the Cloud Drake and Soraka poke, Caitlyn poke, and maybe could have fought them after that big team fight that they got. They got a lot of big ults off and that big
Mhm.
echo stun at the beginning of it when the one when
Looks
Soraka
very promising.
killed Dragon at 7 HP. I don't know. That's like a fight to rewatch to see if there was anything that could have been done. But you need to like see all the cooldowns and stuff. Like,
there was,
'cause I don't know.
clear-
what
there
was-
was. I definitely think things could have been done differently. They were just taking too much time to make a decision. They were definitely.
Yeah.
They
Should we,
were
finish,
definitely-
should we finish Dragon or are we baiting it? And then the Dragon kind of reset a little
No,
bit. And I was like, oh, fuck.
yeah.
Oh, God. No, no.
And then Colma decided, "Fuck it, I'm going in with 100 HP."
Yep. Yep.
So if more coordination was there, I feel like this game we'd still be casting this game. You know, it could have been played a little bit better from both sides, but it was mostly on Mosh and League Ball to set the tempo of that game. And
Ooh, they
just
banned
wasn't-
Soraka.
Did it. So
They
what are they
got
not
rid of
banning?
it.
If they ban Soraka, what did they not ban? What did they ban last time? What they're missing?
They banned.
They banned Tarek this time. They're gonna elect to give him the Olaf, so let's see
They
what
banned
happens with
Victor
that.
last. They banned Victor last time.
Victor.
Washington League Ball picking the Olaf up.
I like this.
Maybe they have a
This is
counter
Almost on
for.
his signature chant.
Yeah, there's the
Yeah.
Victor. I guess they're They know they're going to give him Victor, basically, right? That's what you have to assume. So what are they
Yeah.
going to counter pick with for one of Wisher's champs?
You can pick stuff like Oriana. You can pick. There's a lot of things you can play in Victor. It's all about how comfortable you are in the matchup. Victor doesn't have the best landing phase, but it's a pretty safe pick. You can farm pretty easily,
Yeah.
but it's all about what Brandon decides to pick here. Karma being picked up, another great Moonstaff abusing.
Amazing Moonstaff abusing. Man, with Victor
Amazing.
scaling, if they get Hecarim again, shoot. They're probably gonna get Hecarim.
Misfortune being picked up. Can we get the Jarvan 4 support coming in?
Oh,
Akali.
Yo, is that
That-
the counter? That might be the
that-
counter. Is it? Wait, is it
That
the
might
counter?
be good.
I don't know anything about mid lane. Oops.
Akali's pretty good here. It's just-
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Lukesh. Welcome to the analyst desk. I know you've been here the whole time, sitting under the table. Oh my God! How could you do that to me, Lukesh?
I'm unmuted now, but yes, Akali does lose to Victor in the current state of the game. It's not
Just hiding
a
under
fun
the
matchup.
analyst desk.
But it's all about how comfortable he is in the matchup. So Brandon could walk away with this W.
See,
I
if
really
you
wanted
go like the
them-
correct rune choice, like if you go like Fleet
Whoa.
Footwork and you get like Doran Shield and like Resolve, then you can get past the early lane without getting poked down too badly. But it really is not that fun of a matchup.
Yo, I'm a little worried. They didn't pick jungle, so they get to ban Hecarim Kane, and that's kind of nice.
I
But
think
what is
there's
the
a lot
other-
of there's a lot
There's
of
still
chance.
plenty, but I think that helps, right? Hecarim's
Yeah.
scary as hell. Kane's scary as hell. Maybe not into their comp
You do
specifically.
not
but-
want to give them Kane in this situation. How does Misfortune do anything to a Kane?
Yeah, you're right, actually. Ooh, blue
Please ban Kane. No. He's
Oh
gonna
my
pick
God, it's getting
Kane.
picked.
He's gonna pick Kane here.
Actually, he doesn't even have to pick Kane. He doesn't have to pick Kane because they already picked Olaf. I don't think it's an
Yeah,
Olaf top.
Kane.
Oh no.
Kane World Stars Olaf. Well, it doesn't World Star him,
Yeah,
but
stars. At least he
but
can't
Red
knock him up
Kane-
and
Red
escape.
Kane's pretty great.
But when Olaf loses armor, I don't know. Maybe Kane can scrap it out with him.
This,
Wait out the
Uh,
ult by ulting him, and oh man.
the way this draft is going, I hope Cruz is ready for the graphic to be released.
Yeah. Like, they're going for early aggression again. Hopefully the Olaf will be a little better performing than the other ones this time.
The cow. Okay, I love this champion. Maybe not into Karma Caitlyn, but
Yeah, I don't like. I just wanted them to pick a bot lane that could win, but
okay. No, maybe this is okay. So I've been watching some Alicopter. I've been playing some Phase Rush, Hex Flash, Go Gank Mid Alistar. Feels pretty good. Maybe we're gonna see him in the enemy team chicken pit, Hex flashing over to tower dive that Victor early.
Well, I
And
hope
that's the win
he's
con.
really good at evading these wards because that's one thing that Mop's been really great at is his vision control, and I don't think they're gonna fall for that anytime soon.
Maybe that's the
ooh,
dream.
the Ornn.
Ornn's cool. Ornn's okay.
It's cool.
It's fine. He's cool. Yeah, he's all right. Does he help? Is he what they need? He might be.
This is a Kane angle.
I mean,
like, absolutely a Kane angle.
Yeah.
It became a huge Kane angle. Well, yeah, Alistair Ornn.
Listen,
So that's a full heal right there, buddy.
He's in the chat. He heard me say Kane. It's okay. If you want somebody to draft for you, I'm right here. I'm probably not the person you want drafting for you. But I did predict the Kane because look at that. It's Olaf. It's so many melees. Like, this is the
That's
fattest Kane angle of all time.
Well, I think there's 0% chance Misfortune Alistar kill the bot lane before they get poked down to
Oh,
I think bot lane's
think they're
taking
gonna get
power even earlier this
pushed
game.
in. Yeah. Oh, maybe a 9-minute. Ooh, that could be kind of nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Akali gets poked down by Victor early, probably, so that's gonna be really fun to deal with.
They
And it's-
just kind of picked like two losing lanes, and the only
Yeah.
winning lane is your Ornn, and he's probably gonna get camped by the Kane. So good luck with that.
True. Colma, if Colma goes top, I guess Colma has to go top. Where's Colma
I
go?
think
Colma go
to
mid?
win this game, Colma cannot mess up his pathing at all because he's lost so much tempo, messing up these scuttle crabs and getting his camp stolen that he just can't. He can't afford to do that in this game. If
I mean,
that happens,
this game he's got no. I mean, no, he can't. He can't just fix his pathing because his laners are gonna have all the prio in the universe, or his laners are not gonna have prio because they have 2 losing lanes. They have a
he
losing
can't-
bot lane and losing mid lane.
I feel
There's
like he
no
can
way
still
that those
fix his
champs are able to
pathing
move.
because even if Brandon's
skills.
under tower, he just leaves the wave, and I think he wins that 2v. Victor is not known for his 2v2 with Kane. Kane
No, but
is
he
a
gets to move
great-
first though. Is the thing. That's what I'm like. Is he'll get to move first to the scuttle, and then make it a 2v1 before
It
Akali
depends
can
on the
walk
wave
down without
state.
Akali
Like,
losing a whole wave.
Victor
right?
Victor has a hard time pushing it in until he gets his hex core.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
The
His
thing is,
EML.
the Victor has the push advantage on Akali through all stages of the
yeah.
game.
He probably
I
because
mean-
he has the range and his E is still AOE like early on. You know, Akali has to
Right,
blow
like-
all of her energy to push the wave out.
But
Like,
if you're
ideally, if
pushing that
Equivalent
much-
plays the lane properly, he should
Okay.
never be getting hit by Akali Q as Victor.
Okay, so much for analyst desk, but so what like
For
what's
the
gonna
mid
go
lane
on?
commentary.
Yeah, but like what's gonna go on in that lane is Victor is gonna be pushing up, and if he's getting pushed up, that's a great time for Akali to call for his Alistar or Olaf to just come in and blow his flash.
Yep.
So it's not gonna be Victor shoving 24/7. Victor needs to play this a lot smarter than
No,
shove,
well, I'm
do
just
the
saying
shove, push the shove.
the early shove is going to be what's like. I still don't think Colma's really going to be able to get those crabs just because bot lane early is going to get shoved in by Karma Caitlyn, so they'll be able to walk up to the bot lane scuttle if
I think if he goes topside, he'll be able to get the crabs.
Shen Ornn gets the push, but then Victor has the push mid, so Victor gets to come first, and then it's I don't know. That's why I'm like I'm a little because
I don't know.
they'll have Victor for either crab both times.
Based
Yeah,
on
I
how
will-
these games have been going, like this Monka comp is just gonna be able to scale up to where they need to, where their team fight is just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for some big damage Victor E's. I'm looking for some big Kane gore drinkers.
Like they have Karma healing with the Moonstaff build, and
Yeah,
Washington does not.
Oh, she's gonna have some like when she has Staff of Flowing Water, Alt E. Everyone's gonna be basically Sivir ulted.
And Red
And-
Cane with like that healing and shielding.
Oh my god. Yeah, Red Cane. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
I
I'm
would
so
agree
nervous
with
for one League Ball.
Red Lightning here on how good the comp is for League Ball, but look at that. It is ridiculous. How do you
I mean,
kill
it's just
anyone?
on Colma again. Like every game, they've had these comps where they just need to get stuff done early, and they haven't been able to.
Colma, I really need to stress, like, Colma cannot mess up his pathing early this game, or it's just going to be a total wash for League Ball.
If Alistar goes in on the bot lane, no, he's gonna be so chunked though before he gets a chance because these guys are good at.
Yeah,
looking.
Alistar's
Only
going to have a really bad time in bot lane.
Maybe after the first back, Alistar can come back to lane and get something done. Actually, there's a chance.
I mean, after 6, he can just WQ and Misfortune ults, but like that's not gonna kill. They just have to do that to chunk out.
Don't come out of lane. Maybe they can get Dragon off that. That'd be great. You know, that'd be really cool. If they get some wards on it. I mean, you know, I'm down
I mean,
for
the
that.
problem is just they have the Shen too, so like
Oh,
they're gonna be pushed in
forgot about
and
the
have
Shen ult. Oh
the
my
Shen
gosh.
turns.
Shen's a great pick here. It really allows you to have more map pressure, especially from a top lane standpoint, like where you're usually not going to be towards the dragon. But it's just all about how they manage top wave. So if Shen hits the 6, it's going to be a lot harder for Ornn to follow up. It depends on who uses their TPs. It's just going to be generic top lane stuff.
Yeah, and like the Shen just peels the Akali and Olaf so well.
Just stand on a Shen W.
Mhm.
And Olaf has a hard time since his E counts as auto.
I like Olaf. I mean, it's nice when if they can get a nice little team fight for League Ball. A little Ornn Horn, Alistair
wombo.
WQ, Misfortune, ulting them all. Olaf just run around gore drinker, you know,
Okay, that would be
slamming.
great.
That's cool.
That would be amazing. But how do you catch a Kane first off?
Yeah.
How do you catch a
They
staff?
just, if they have to be ahead enough that they can just pop someone because they're never winning a sustained fight.
That's the hardest thing. Yeah, it's hard to get picks against Mop. They really aren't. They really don't let themselves be picked. This is something they do pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Are they loaded in the game, by the way, or are they still picking?
We still got a few seconds.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
We got like a minute or two.
We got a few minutes. We got.
Does everyone
minutes.
think Mop wins this one, or is anyone saying League Ball?
Red Lightning like
out
League Ball
of
team
sake
better.
for content, I hope League Ball.
I
wins
hope
this one.
League Ball wins. This is
So
Coleman's.
they're what? I need my
This
prediction
is
to be
Coleman's
right.
champ. He could go crazy here.
Dude,
Yeah.
what?
I want Coleman to go crazy this game.
We're going to go crazy. I think this
Okay,
is the
they
time.
their champion select bugged out and Brandon just left. So,
All right.
well, I'm gonna go over to the casters lounge so we can start talking
Yes,
about
sir.
the game.
Bet.
Okay, that works for me.
All right, I'm here. I guess us casters can talk about the game a bit before I guess Brandon.
Sure.
Yes, just run.
Because yeah, I don't know what they're doing. You shouldn't run blind pick because you can't pause, and this could be the last game of finals. But like, I wish they could hurry this up. I cannot believe that they finished the entire champ select and then didn't, and then DC'd. But
Can't.
Oh,
we
well,
Can't switch
um,
to. We can't switch to blind pick because Washington pause ball team can't pause the game. So
true. Rams of sub, Washington pause ball. It's fine. Either way, let's talk about the game a little bit. We can talk about the comps. We just heard what the analysts had to say. I like Washington's comp. I think for the first time they actually have a comp that they can win the game on, without like having to outplay super hard. Akali into Victor is a fine matchup for Akali. Like she shouldn't fall behind in that lane.
No.
Misfortune shouldn't fall behind in the bot lane.
No.
Or into
Akali
Shen.
into Victor is not good for Akali.
I mean, I don't think it's
Pre-6.
great. I don't think it's great pre-6, but you have kill pressure, and it's not like Victor's really gonna bully you out.
Now Victor will bully you out. Good
don't
playing
know.
playing melee assassins into Victor pre-6 is in the current state of the game is one of the most cancerous experiences in my life because he just presses Q, gets a shield, and then just dips. And then level
If
2,
you think-
he can keep doing that. Like, trust me when I say this, as a melee assassin player, like, playing against an aggressive Victor is one of the most frustrating experiences ever.
If early game Victor is the most frustrating experience for you, let me introduce you to League of Legends. Let me introduce you to playing Victor against assassins once they have an ult.
I mean, that's how it's supposed to be, right?
But either way, I think Akali will be able to do just fine here. I'm not worried
Yeah,
for
yeah, I
Brandon
mean,
in this
like,
matchup at all.
If he goes
Um,
if he goes like the correct rune choice, like if he goes Fleet and then Doran Shield and then Resolve, she will not get poked down by Victor. That's just how it is.
No.
Like if you build smart and you play smart, you'll be fine in that lane. But if you're over aggressive and try to step up when you're not supposed to and not care of Victor's cooldowns, he will start like chunking you down pretty hard, pretty fast.
And for the first time, Washington League Ball has the winning 2v2 mid jungle.
They do have the
Olaf-
winning mid jungle 2v2.
Olaf Akali should work Victor and Kane in any fight. So, what I hope, it's been pretty bad for Koma versus Reggie so far, which, to be fair, completely fair to Koma, that's not surprising. Reggie is a much higher ranked player. But they have the tools now and the champions now to where if they can work well together in the mid jungle, they can actually keep control of this map state. Instead of where every single game Mop just controls the map from start to finish, they lose like 5 CS bot lane, but in return they're no kills, no tower plates, and they take complete control of every objective. Washington should, in theory, with this comp, be able to get objectives early, without too much issue. And if they can get any sort of early lead, they can transition pretty well into a team fight phase where their wombo combo is actually pretty devastating. That being said, Mop still has all the tools they need to win. I just think it's a little bit harder with their comp. You actually got to scale a little bit. You're not going to be winning any early fights with early game Victor, pre-transform Kane. You got to scale up, and it's up to Washington it's up to them to keep Washington from pushing that pedal down. So we'll have to see.
For sure. I think it depends on the rune choice or like Depends on the rune choice for Reggie, but if he does end up going Red Cane, Mop wins the extended assuming both teams are even in gold, Mop wins the extended fight 10 times out of 10. If
Yeah.
However, I also think with how hard it is to actually kill a Red Cane, as well as the Moonstaff abuse that is going on in the bot lane as of late in this meta, um, I don't think they win the burst. I think they win the burst fight as well, because Victor also does a lot of burst damage and is also pretty good in extended fights, because if he has phase rush, he can continue cutting with Qs, throw his lasers out as much as he wants. Caitlyn does a lot more damage in extended fights than Misfortune on a normal case, but with Galeforce builds popping up as of late, Caitlyn is also not bad in shorter fights. Then Karma, we know, can poke people down. Really good way to sort of disengage with your ult shields and give people move speed boosts, single out targets with your tether. A lot of zone control with that champion, and then Shen shield coming in as well. So while I do like the 2v2 from from League Ball more than the 2v2 from Mop, I feel like unless League Ball is like decently ahead, I don't think they win any fight, even if their comp is easier to execute.
Kyle, you here?
Yeah.
All right,
I
just making sure.
What are y'all's thoughts on what I just said?
I mean, I agree. They're gonna have a much harder time winning team fights, but I mean, I'm predicting this. They should be ahead. Like, based on comps, they should get ahead, and I think they could burst pretty hard. I'm just imagining any fight around an objective, or an ult comes out, and they follow up with Misfortune ult layered over top of it. Should be able to burst some members out. You know, you've got an ulting Olaf that doesn't matter if Karma tethers him, if he's just running right to the back line and looking at that Victor. You know, and if you're able to get that set up right and you have a lead, you have the damage right there to actually win that fight pretty quickly and then take any objective. And hopefully at this point, if you're ahead, you know, you've already got a dragon or two, maybe you've got a tower or two, you know, you've got some gold lead. Yeah, if they don't get ahead at all, their team comp gets outscaled pretty hard and they're gonna have a hard time.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have to see like the itemization choices as well going into things, because here's my big take on this game. League Ball needs to get ahead early and they need to end fast. Because if they're even in gold and just let the game stagnate, they're gonna lose. If they're only slightly ahead in gold, they're just gonna lose. I'm just looking at the two comps here, and I don't see a route where League Ball wins. I don't see a situation where League Ball wins unless they get like turbo ahead.
I mean, it's just a redo of their same draft style all night, and that's what it's been. It's had to be that League Ball has to get ahead. Excuse me, League Ball has to get ahead early, and just kind of pray to God that they don't toss the early game. Frankly,
Yeah. Luckily for the first time, I think the Misfortune gives you actual real win condition in the bot lane here. In every other game, I mean, you're picking an early game Vayne. You're picking. I don't remember what they used game one. Yeah, Tristana. But like,
it's the same concept. It's a Tristana's better than Vayne, but it's still just a weaker early AD carry.
Yeah, and they went weak Tristana too. They went Dora and Shield Tristana first back call. So you grab Misfortune here now, and your bot lane has been steadily across the series has been outperforming theirs, at least in the laning phase, but you know, not enough to make up for differences elsewhere on the map. You know, 5 CS doesn't really matter too much when the rest of your team is down 50. But I'm hoping that with Misfortune Alistar here, they can actually get a significant lane advantage. It's not like Caitlyn and Karma are bad by any means in lane, but I think Misfortune's strong enough that, especially once you hit 6, if you're still in laning phase, if you can get your combo down right and actually burst some of these people out, like maybe their bot lane can break this game open. And with your mid jungle giving you, you know, hopefully giving you map pressure and keeping you from being ganked too much by a weak early Kayn, you should be good to go.
So, with that all said, at least, I do think, I don't know. This is a tough-ish time for Colma, but it's remedied by a very good Ornn pick, I'd say. The Ornn pick here helps a lot of the problems that would have been had normally by this red side or this blue side of League Balls. So we'll get to see how that works alongside the scaling of equivalent. I think I've really liked the Victor changes that they put in a couple patches ago. He has a very clear, like, still weak early game, but I mean his mid late has scaled so much better, and it just feels a lot better going into the mid game than it did before.
I mean,
I'll
the
agree with
thing
you there.
about-
I love the Victor changes. I think they went. I don't know. I think they went a little bit ham with the nerfs. He was like good for one day,
No,
and
I
they
think the
started
nerfs. I
nerfing the
think the
crap out
nerfs
of him.
were fine. He was utterly disgustingly
Yes,
broken.
no, he was pretty disgusting. They did take 20% AP ratio off his laser though, so
That's
that was.
perfectly fine by me.
I think that was a little. I think that was a little hardcore, but
Nah.
he still is like the best control mage right now. So
Yeah, he is the best control mage. The thing about Victor is when you have such a strong scaling champion and you give him a strong early game as well, and you give him easier access to scale and get to that point by removing the fact that in the past he needed to buy a hex core and wait for the hex core to like just rush it, right? And then he needed to wait for like 4 or 5 items before that hex core actually came online. Just moving that over to his passive and just making it tied to his CSing.
The price of like larger items than his opponents were building in lane, with much larger item breakpoints being like 1250 or whatever for the first one. So
The issue with Hexcore is it doesn't do anything until you old Hexcore was it didn't do anything until you actually got more items.
you got some levels, honestly. It's scaled with
Yeah,
level.
levels and items. Like they're going aggressive onto the bot lane. Ori is forced to flash. Ignite is dropped by Blue Chess.
Or am I ahead?
Traded back. Somewhat of an even 2v2 there.
Okay.
The level
I think
3
Lokesh
spike.
I think you're like a little bit behind, Lokesh.
Am I?
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Maybe just a little bit. Maybe not. I don't know.
All right, I'm at
I had
353
seen it
right now.
about-
Yep, that's the same as me.
I bet. Looks like Reggie is going down to the bot lane for a gank as Damage Prodigy and Joko Lyoko do some clapping in the top. See what happens. Blue Chess headbutts the Kane away. The Blade's reach slow comes through. The Karma Tether does land onto Blue Chess. Quite a lot of damage, but he's not going to go down just yet. 1 HP on the back end of that fight. Beoraga taking Top Dog down to like 10 HP.
Well played from Blue Side's bot lane here to get out during that gank. You know, not get punished at all. Just avoiding the gank right there. Blue Chess barely living with like 1 HP, but hey, at least he got out. They're going to be up to a CS lead once they collect this under turret. So, well played there. They were already punishing a little bit. They did burn Flash on Alistar to try to kill the Karma. It just didn't quite have the damage. A little overestimated what they actually could do there, but I like to see them going aggressive.
No Shroud on Akali, but he is going to get caught right here. He is... Yeah, you're just going to press E and walk out of the wall. It's really hard to catch a Kane, even when he's in your own jungle. Though he may not be the best duelist, early game duelist in the jungle, he is decently strong because of his ability to just yeet away from any troublesome situation. Sure can flip
like
does land. Wisher normally would take that. If this was solo queue Wisher, he would take that.
True. But yeah, he's doing just fine in lane right now. He's down 3 CS in this melee matchup in the hardest part of the game for him for now, at least, until Victor actually scales up. He will have level 6 pretty soon. Blue Chess is coming up. Not really sure why, but just help him push the wave out, I guess. Get a better back. He is level 6 now, so he does have pretty decent kill threat onto Victor once he baskets his item, and they're both in like a, up the middle of the lane, not necessarily under tower.
A really ballsy play, I think, would be if Blue Chess just wrapped around and went for a Hex Flash dive onto Equivalent. Would have maybe been able to pick up a kill even through the exhaust. Deny quite a bit of farm, but Equivalent's just going to ult the wave and try and push it out just so he can get a decent back. I don't know if Wisher's going to let him do that, though.
It looks like he is going to get a fine back here. I mean, he's going to shove the wave out. Witcher can still push this if he wants to, but it is a cannon wave, so I think Equivalent's going to be fine either way. He is completely out of mana, so he really needs to go back now.
Right.
I think you're perfectly happy if you're a Kali right now with how this early lane went. And in the meantime, you're looking across the board. Everyone's up in CS here. Pretty much. Like, Akali's now 1 or 2 minions up, but just because she delayed her back. But Ornn, your top lane, he's been down pretty much every game. Joe Cleoco in terms to DMG Prodigy, but he's actually up a little bit of farm here. So you're happy to see that. Your bot lane's up a decent amount of farm. So that's pretty good for being 7 minutes in. You're not bleeding unnecessary gold at this point, which, even with, stronger early game comps the last 2 games, they've kind of been bleeding gold all over the map, all early game, even without kills.
They've actually sniffed out Reggie trying to take this Infernal Drag. He's going to have to use a Shadow Step to get out of there. I think this might be League Ball's first drag right now, playing to their strengths, trying to shut this Kayn down early on. Looks like based off of his build, Reggie will be going for the red Kayn in this case, looking to get that Gore Drinker in.
Yeah, so Kayn scaling up uninterrupted is not necessarily great, but he hasn't been getting in a lot of skirmishes or anything, so it's not like he's been picking up lots of orbs. Actually, Wisher's going to go in really quick. He's going to go all the way in, use his ultimate, but Equivalent with the exhaust is just going to walk right away, taking a big chunk of damage, but nothing lethal. Good summoner blown, though.
Yeah, he trades his ult cooldown for the exhaust, and it's about a 90-second cooldown on the Akali ultimate, so I think he'll take that pretty happily and look for another all-in sometime soon. Have to remember, Wisher still has both his flash and his ignite up, but Equivalent only has his flash, and I think you and I can both attest, since I play the champion and you've been on the receiving end, that Akali can follow anyone with the flash. However, ult does come down. Wisher flash is out, but however, the tether does land. Will he die? No, he won't. He just gets out barely. Yeah, he lives. He lives.
I kind of wish Kolma ulted there. He might have been able to get something onto Victor had he gone for it with his ult. Either way, really great job from Equivalent there, baiting out, forcing Wisher's flash. It's something they've been doing. This time it wasn't Regidice, but it's something that Equivalent's been doing really well all tournament long, is bait somebody to go in every single time you have somebody in your back pocket. Ori walked up just as Wisher he already used his ult from the earlier engage, and he had just used his Shuriken flip to go in and engage on Victor. So he had no escape besides his flash to actually go in. Ooh, wasting the flash, the combo there from Alistar, but they are going to pick this up into Equivalent. First blow into Akali. Excellent job here, and then a lot of damage going on to Caitlyn now. She's taking a huge amount from the ult, forced to use heal to survive.
Yeah, I think Bayarga probably would have just barely been able to pick up the kill onto Top Dog if he didn't use heal in time. But Ori is here, forced to flash away from the empowered the Mantra Q. So Joko Lyoko drops the Ornn Horn, the new Elderwood skin, rocking that. Damage Prodigy forced to flash away.
Yeah, well played here. We're actually seeing a gold lead for, I think the first time all series on League Ball team here. So
for sure.
That's something to be proud of.
Misfortune. Blue Chess is here. Let's see. Good flash from Top Dog to get himself away from the Alistar combo. Would have been a dead Caitlyn otherwise.
Big time. Yeah, they're definitely winning this bot lane here. They're forcing summoner spells. They have a CS lead here. They haven't been able to find a 2v2 kill all series, and so I'd like to see it here, but you're definitely seeing how much more pressure they can put out. This is by far the most bot pressure they've been able to exert this series. It's a big step up. Koma should be able to win this here if the Shen coming in doesn't turn it too much. He definitely needs to ult to avoid the Shen taunt. They've already killed off Reggie, and now DMG Prodigy is going down.
Wisher with the perfect execution. Equivalent's going to go down here as well. That's kind of tragedy for Mop and success for Washington League Ball team. They are not going down without a fight. They came to play. Trying to run this Victor down, but he's kind of fast.
He has no flash now. He's going to get caught out.
Yeah, I mean, stun's going to come through for Alistar real soon. Wisher is here. Probably is going to pick up the kill onto Equivalent, chasing him down. Meanwhile, Bayarga is getting chased by the Karma and the Caitlyn, but the rest of the team, the Cavalry, has arrived to support the ADC. It's going to happen here for them. But yeah, 3-0-0 on the Akali right now. 4 kills to 0. Yeah, for the first time, a gold lead in the favor of the Washington League Ball squad. Things are looking...
Good to see.
Yeah, they're looking up for them.
I mean, this is the first time that, like, I mean, this is exactly what their comp needs to do. They're actually ahead. They're not up, 200, 300 gold. They're up a solid almost 3,000 gold now, 4-0. They've managed to take the first dragon. They haven't got any turret plates in top or bot. I can't actually see mid. I would have liked them to get some more, like, tower pressure here, but at least they're getting something. They're actually managed to get advantage.
Onto Ori. He's going to be forced to flash away, queuing him in the face.
No flashes on either bot lane member right here. So despite the fact that they're both low, if they can actually find and engage now, Misfortune up is ult, Alistar up is ult as well. With 2 flashless members, you could actually look for a kill.
Yeah, I think looks like Equivalent and Reggie are moving towards the bot lane. Do spot Colma on the ward, try to react to that. Bot lane of League Ball team is just going to leave. Looks like they're going to go aggressively onto Bayaraga. However, they might have bitten off a little bit more than they can chew as Blue Chest picks up the kill onto Top Dog as Ori gets caught out here. Colma 25 picking up the kill credit on that one. 6-0 on the scoreboard for the League Ballers. They are ready to bring this to a game 4.
Yeah, well played down there in that bot lane fight. Looked like Balraga was actually caught out, but Blue Chest was really just around the corner, so he manages to get back over and help them out. Richard Dice just doing a little skirmishing here, probably trying to pick up an orb or 2. With the Rift Herald going down, you'll get a big chunk out of the bot lane turret. Even if you don't take it all the way down, at least you're going to get something here.
It would be
with
nice
the drag
to see,
started up.
It would be nice to see how many orbs Reggie's gathered. I don't think it's much because he hasn't been really doing anything at all this game. Blue Ches just does a cheeky knockaway onto the Kane. Stun him up. Will Colma end up going towards...
Colma can win this one.
Okay, I don't know what that was, but it looks like Wisher will end up picking up the kill onto Regidice here. He's going to go aggressively onto Ori. Will pick up that kill onto the Karma as well. Wisher on a ramp. Never mind, Ori's still alive.
Yeah, he doesn't have enough energy. He couldn't get another Q off.
Caitlyn. Joko Lyoko is fighting Damage Prodigy in the top lane. Ornn doing a decent amount of damage to the Shen. There's fights all across the map. Wisher in all chat screaming Akali nerfs. He is not happy about the state of the game.
Yeah, so that's what you can't be doing when you're on League Ball team here. You don't want to trade even at all. You managed to get 3 kills back over. Wisher had a great Akali play there at first and managed to secure killing Reggie there, but he decided to keep going onto Ori afterwards and just ran out of energy and didn't actually have enough to finish that kill off, showing how oppressive Karma can be just by running away and shielding herself.
Right.
But yeah, and then Colma made the first mistake by engaging onto Reggie there in the first place. He just did not have the HP to win that. I'm pretty sure he's much stronger and could win that fight if they're both starting from full, but when he was starting from like 1/3 HP, I mean, Kane's first Q, doesn't matter how much healing you're going to get, Kane's like first Q would basically take him out. He didn't even need to ult to survive that fight, so a little bit of a misplay there from Colma in the jungle. Won't lie though, Wisher's Akali kind of be looking clean.
It does look pretty good. Is opting for the Rift Maker. So I personally lately I've been liking the Proto build, Akali build. I think it's a lot more explosive, especially after the nerfs to Rift Maker. He does have his red form. 50 minutes into the game, this Ornn's dead. There's really nothing much he can do here.
It was a really good job. He managed to stop the knockup with this W. That's exactly what you need here, but I just think they have too much mobility to actually get away here. They are going to take him down. I was just about to praise him for how well he was doing. He's up about 20 CS in this top lane for the first time, getting a pretty significant CS advantage. Colma and Wisher are both up here now. They're going to look to punish it. Reggie's out of mana, so he has nothing but that wall to keep him alive, and now DMG Prodigy, by trying to protect his team, is going to go down as well. The kill over to Balrauga. Great punish from the side of League Ball, getting that gold lead out to about 3.3k, trying to keep themselves in the lead. They do need to manage to take some kind of structure here, though, because the bot lane of Red Side is going to be able to push and hit their turret on their own.
Yeah, looks like Ornn's going bot lane to TP. He's end up stepping on the trap, but he's there to defend that bot lane tower for the time being. Wisher did end up going up top and picking up another kill under his belt with the roam. The rest of the cavalry arrived as well, cleaning up after gank onto Joko Lyoko. Ornhorn going through, lands onto Top Dog. Cole is here as well, so is Wisher. No Kali ult though. They don't have a tower, they're just going to get run down in this extended lane. The Shen ult is dropped, however, a little too much. Joko Lyoko just barely lives off of that one.
Yeah, they take him down before the Shen ult can actually come in, so Joko Lyoko is able to survive. Balraga is fine farming up here with the Shen in the top lane, actually. No pressure, really. Equivalent is going to be able to get away from this, but Blue Chess manages to defend his turret, so all good there. Mid turret stays up for now. Gold League is expanded to about 4K. You'd like to see League Ball, if they want to continue to extend this, probably move up here to this Rift Herald, like looks like they're going to try to do. Grab this and actually break open the mid turret, so you can open up this map a little bit more and try to extend your lead, catching people out in the jungle.
Moving towards the Rift Herald here for once Washington League Ball team is in the driver's seat. But for what it seems like this entire game so far, Wisher misses the E. Would have been a dead Caitlyn otherwise. Actually, probably not. She had heal and then she had Ori coming up to help her out, so would have been a few sums burned for sure, but
30 seconds. This is an Ocean Soul this game for the first time this series, and that's going to be really impactful for whichever team gets it. If you get an Ocean Soul onto a champ like Olaf, onto a champion like Ornn, great for Akali as well, they're going to be really, really hard to kill in these fights, and it might give blue team an advantage in later game team fights. I'm not going to say it just wins them late game team fights, but it might extend your window to where you can compete much later in this game than your comp would normally allow. And they're definitely stronger at this point in the game. If they can win this fight and grab this Drake, they'll be in a great spot to set up for the last one.
What an engagement.
Probably already in, Ornn coming in. A lot of damage on the Damage Prodigy. He's going to go down already, but they do take out Coma 25. Big Misfortunal does a lot of damage. They can't pick up any kills here. The jungler's already down, so they may or may not be able to actually pick up this Drake. Balraga getting in, doing a lot of damage here, but now he's going to be caught out, forced flash away from the Karma Chain. Reggie still goes in, though. They're going to pick up a lot of damage here. Equivalent does pick up the kill with his E. Reggie stunned up under turret, but it looks like he's going to be able to get away, and down goes Wisher as well. Absolutely devastating loss from...
So, remember when I said that without key cooldowns and in extended fights, Mop would win regardless, unless like Washington League Ball team was like turbo far ahead? When the Misfortune ult was dropped and no one died after that except for the Shen, they should just backed off and like started pressuring the Dragon while waiting for a couple of key cooldowns to come back up. By continuing to fight after all the cooldowns had already been blown, like flashing in aggressively to pick up kills, Mop was able to win that, and now Gold League's been reduced to just 700.
Yeah, they didn't have the actual like team fight set up to start it out. The Ornn ult into the Akali engage looked pretty decent, but they didn't layer that crowd control with the Misfortune ult originally, and so when the Misfortune ult comes down eventually in the team fight, they do get a lot of damage, but nobody's CC'd, so they can all just walk out of it. They get chunked to half, but like you said, they have plenty of sustain. They have great like team fight poke, great pressure. It's hard to chase people down with the Karma buffing you up. Victor is great at poking and kiting backwards. Caitlyn is great at that as well. And then Red Kayn, is Red Kayn.
Just Red Kayn. I mean, like
So-
you can't like Red Kayn is like the king of extended fights. Just drain tanking absolutely everything thrown at him.
Exactly.
And, like, doing millions of damage on top of that is just really hard to deal with that champion if you're not able to lock him down and burst him out immediately.
Yeah, so your like ideal scenario there for blue side is that Ornn ult comes in and then Misfortune ult comes in on top and they instantly kill like all three of those members. Because they had a big enough gold lead to where they should have had the damage to honestly do that, but they couldn't quite set the fight up that well. Blue team using their cooldowns, like their Victor used his flash, and then Caitlyn uses her flash as well, to avoid that most of that engage and survive until the cooldowns were used. DMG Prodigy getting 3-man under this turret though. He's gonna go down quickly, and Wisher picks up another kill, up to 6-2-2 at this point on his Akali.
Kayn is bot to answer with the top lane gank though, looking for a kill onto the Ornn. Let's see if Joko Lyoko, I think he sniffs it out here, yeah. They're just gonna let the bot lane tower fall and call it a day. Reggie goes back to farming the jungle.
Yeah, I guess that's all you could do. You might as well let that go down. You got the top lane, the top turret in answer, so pretty good. Still about a 1k gold lead. They're not behind by any means, but it's going to be much harder for them to win team fights from this position. Without your 4 to 5k gold lead, you know, you're not going to be able to burst people out nearly as hard as you'd like to at these objectives. And by giving up that Ocean Drake, they're at a really tight clock to pressure this game, keep whatever lead they have, and actually transition it into a win before they get scaled too far up. Victor still doesn't have 2 items, so he's not going to be by any means like ridiculously oppressive yet. Caitlyn's on 1 item still. Even the Kayn hasn't quite finished 2 items, it doesn't look like. So you're at a point where your comp can still outperform if you can find the right fights. But yeah, the Ocean Soul, I mean, just even losing that 1 Drake is really hard. If you're looking for that Ocean Soul win condition, because it's pushed back to like 32 minutes now, or not 32, but like 28 minutes now for Ocean Soul.
Yeah, like ideally, like they wanted to stack the dragons as fast as possible, with the last team fight being turbo botched. Joko Lyoko's just getting run together. I hate Victor so much, man. That champion's so dumb.
Just gotta use him early. He's still weak in the early game, as we kind of saw with Olaf and Akali kind of running this early game in the mid jungle here. Victor's just not—he's not a force at all.
He's 1 and 2, and you see how much damage he's doing with just Ludens. And man.
To be fair, he's not like a bunch of MR on Ornn by any means, and the Ornn wasn't trading back. I actually think if Ornn decided to trade back and like hit his stuff, Victor can't. He's like in a little bit of danger there. If Ornn turned around and ulted him, he might have been able to get him into like some kind of kill range, but it's pretty easy to do damage when you're just kiting with him, running with him, dropping Qs at ease. Oof, fat chunk of damage from Caitlyn there onto Wisher. Equivalent actually has a level lead over Wisher. He is up like almost 60 CS here. He's been playing this lane really good, even from behind in terms of the map state. They catch out Caitlyn here. She doesn't get a very good trap backwards, but the Karma Shield gets her out with a lot of speed here. Ornn comes in. They do miss onto Caitlyn, actually. He doesn't get it onto either side. He splits the uprights here. Reggie is getting really low, though. Does use his ult to stay alive. They are onto DMG Prodigy, but he's alive as well. Wisher's in the backline, manages to kill off the Caitlyn finally. Reggie does get over the wall. He's not going to be able to be taken down there. Victor ult is just absolutely shredding the team, though. 2 kills for Reggie. They're going to look to kill up Joko Lyoko there as well. Equivalent does pick up that kill, getting one himself, and ends up being a 4-for-1 again. And the gold lead is now actually non-existent. It's completely even with the dragon up. It's going to be a free Ocean Drake for Red Side, and I think a huge game lead for them now.
They do end up catching out the Caitlyn at the start of the fight, but the Alistar fails to get the knock-up onto him, so you have 2 separate scenarios going on, where one part of the team wants to kill the Caitlyn, and the other part of the team wants to kill Karma and Victor, and like neither part of the team is really focusing on what's happening, and like Reggie's just able to just jump in with Shen and like just wreak havoc on the back line, and you have Wisher just going in onto Caitlyn and Karma, and he does pick him up in the end of it. He does pick up the Caitlyn at the end of it, but gets dropped down really, really low, and Karma doesn't die, so they're able to continue chasing the remaining members of the League Ball team, and things just didn't go as planned.
Yeah. I think your point about them like kind of splitting up on their focus was perfectly illustrated by the fact that Ornn could have gone for Caitlyn with his ult, or could have gone for Victor Karma with his ult, and instead sent it right down the middle and got neither. He couldn't decide who he wanted to get either.
Wisher does a Wisher play, getting desperate.
That's a Wisher
getting
play.
One shot, and the only fed member of Washington League Ball team is dead. That lets this Red Kayn start wreaking absolute havoc onto the front line. The equivalent is in from the side, puts the lasers down. The gravity field is dropped. Blue Chess is stunned up. Reggie picks up the kill onto Joko Lyoko. The Karma chains come through. Blue Chess forced to run away. 2-for-0 in the favor of Mop, and that is Baron on the table.
Yeah, Wisher can't play like that.
He can't. He really
if he wants to get his team back into this game, just overestimating how much protection his Shroud is going to give him when Victor's on 2 items, and he actually went 1v3 there. So I don't really know what he was thinking. I don't think he was going to burst anybody out before he died, but
Yeah, Brandon's
guess he-
just really been unable to kill anyone. Just like the damage and the CC's been layered perfectly. Blue team steals Baron Nashor, actually picks it up for the Washington League Ball team, but they're just going to get run down here, so I don't think that was really worth it in the end. I mean, I guess it was worth just to take the objective off the table, but it doesn't matter because everyone is just dead equivalent one-shotting Baorauga there.
yeah,
Absolutely disgusting damage from the Victor, the lasers, and just gets one-tapped. He has a really good use of the, I don't know, just like...
I mean, Victor's officially scaled up now.
Yeah, scaled up after 2 items.
Oh,
Broken
I mean,
champion.
That's really all you need on Victor right now. I mean, obviously you still scale better with more, but like once you get your Ludens and Lichbane on Victor, you're pretty much like you can actually be like a real champion and do like real damage.
I feel like he does real damage after Ludens, my friend.
He does damage, but like he's still outclassed by some other mages at 1 item. At 2, at 2 at this point, and honestly from 2 and beyond, he's pretty much outclassed in terms of like DPS and team fights. But yeah, so they do get the Baron, which is nice. They have to use Balraga's ult to do it though, and I was thinking about it when it was going down. I thought it was a little bit troll. He only shoots Baron and Shen instead of shooting the entire team, and I guess he just decided. I don't know if it was a conscious choice, but decided that the Baron was worth more than potentially killing the actual team members taking it. So good secure, takes the objective off the table, makes it. I mean, they don't win. I don't think they win late, so it's not great. But at least this way, takes the objective off the table, so it makes it harder for Mop to end. Getting a lot of damage onto the Caitlyn. I don't know if he's gonna live to the
onto Top Dog. He eventually
Stay down.
dies. That's just so many
Wisher's alive.
resources burned to build the ADC. Excellent misfortune all comes through. Ori
Huge.
barely lives.
Whew. Ori, one more tick of that misfortune ult would have taken Ori down. These Karma shields and this Karma healing from the Moonstone Renewer is just insane. She's keeping everybody alive. Caitlyn lived forever with the Shen ult and the Karma shield, but they do take her down. It was a good pick. A little more gold into the pockets of League Ball, and this dragon's coming up. You're gonna have to fight it again. I think with your comp, even with the slight gold deficit, you have to take every fight and just hope you can execute it perfectly. If they can do, I think at this point it takes a pretty big mess up from Mop, but if you can execute your team, if you can execute your team fight correctly, and Mop doesn't play it quite right, then I don't think it's a stretch that Blue Side could still win a team fight around an objective like a dragon, and get back into this game.
Here's my argument on that, actually. Regardless of how messy Mop plays the fights and how well League Ball plays it, I still think League Ball loses. Because Mop has the burst advantage early on because Victor is officially scaled, and they have the extended advantage because Victor is scaled, Caitlyn has items, and then you have Red Kayn, who's also scaled with Gore Drinker and Starex.
It's definitely true. It's going to be really tough, but I could still see a big Ornn ult coming through with Misfortune layered on top of it, and just trying to avoid those longer range skill shots while you have an Akali in the backline that is on almost 3 items herself is going to be pretty difficult.
Onto Baorauga immediately. Joko Lyoko drops the Ornn Horn, but it doesn't really matter. Wisher is in the backline, but he is going to get dropped immediately. Equivalent dominating on that front. Reggie 1v3 in the backline. The Starex is coming through. A lot of healing from the Gore Drinker. He's just unbelievably unstoppable on this Red Kayn. The 2-man team of Karma and this Kayn. Just unstoppable. Heals, shields, so much damage.
Yep, it's just too much.
Yeah, they really
we were talking about them playing a perfect team fight, but that was definitely not a perfect team fight. Not all 5 members were in position. Wisher, or not Wisher, I forget who it was. I think it might have been Wisher. Gets to the team fight a little bit late. Joko Lyoko is actually caught out a little bit in the Dragon Pit, and he uses his ult, but he's not using it like in a front-to-back team fight manner where it's coming down through the entire enemy team and you can knock it back through like their general center. He was off to the side and had a really weird angle, and nobody was back there to follow up on the Ornn ult. I don't even know if he hit anybody with it. So it just kind of was a wasted cooldown, and Balrauga was instantly compromised by Reggie's Kayn. Had no peel back there for him besides the Olaf,
who this, Brandon. You
doesn't
do
really
not
peel.
win this at all.
Not even close. He's actually down a level.
He is down a level. This is not going to work out. He dodges the ultimate.
And Reggie has plenty of damage now with the ult coming in, but Shenol actually.
The Red Cane
Shenol
is
is worth
scaled.
more.
Red Cane is scaled. Shenol and Starax, like
Everyone's
you're not winning
scaled.
that. I think it's just tilt central for League Ball at the moment.
Yeah, I think they can feel that their chances at winning this finals have pretty much entered. I mean, it would take kind of a miracle to get back in this game. The gold lead's not atrocious, but with their team comp, like Mop has to Mop. You have to rely on Mop like absolutely throwing this back to you. I mean, you've got to play perfect, yeah, but I don't think perfect play like wins you this game. I think it's huge Mop mistakes, like people getting caught out left and right, people just not using their cooldowns correctly, Ori just deciding that she forgets how to play support. I mean, we've seen how oppressive Ori has been. So oppressive in all 3 games this tournament. I straight up think she's been the MVP of this like whole series. Much quieter than like some of their big pop-off games by Reggie and Equivalent. Equivalent had the huge Anivia game, and Reggie's game 1. And honestly, this game here on Kane, at this point, 7-3 is pretty impressive.
The thing is, it's impressive now, but you have to remember the early game, single-handedly, what was keeping him in the game was actually the Karba.
Yeah,
Gaining them
big
into
time.
multiple fights, giving huge-ass shields. She's been an absolute monster. The unspoken hero of Mop.
Kane engages
Mop the
1v3.
entire series, Kane going in 1v3. Olaf forced to put the ulti down so he doesn't get knocked up. Blue Ches trying to bring this Kane away, but it doesn't matter. Reggie's godlike. Misfortune ult lands on absolutely nobody. Damage Prodigy kills off the Alistar there as they look towards taking the top lane, and I think this game is pretty much over. Baron's on the table. I think another push maybe, and then another team fight, another push, and then it should be the game over from League Ball Squad.
Yeah, we're just playing too good, and at this point, Kane is feeling so confident, he walks into the entire enemy's team by himself, with his team 5-10 seconds behind him, and doesn't take damage.
Yeah, he just doesn't. I mean,
just fights them.
Monka, he is Omega. The League Ball team is Pepega, and Reggie says Poggers. So
Yep. You're scaled up pretty hard when you engage 1v5 and the enemy team is burning ults in defense.
Yeah.
They're burning Olaf ults to flee in terror from you while you're engaging 1v5 without your team.
Yeah. It was like the Red Cane dream. You're like the supreme evil, like, demon thing, and you get so much power, and like everyone just runs in fear of you. You're immortal, just absolutely can't die. It's like Reggie is cosplaying the champion at this point.
True. And if it wasn't bad enough that they just picked up Baron, Ocean Soul is available in about a minute, and I don't think I don't think League Ball really has anything they can do to stop that.
For sure. $40 on the Soul. Mop is there. League Ball does have vision control on the Dragon. Reggie is going to be a little bit late to the fray, but Equivalent also... Does he go for the recall? He doesn't.
Ooh, Blue Chess gets the recall canceled there. Not that it matters, but still feels bad. Coma pops his Elixir of Iron. Gonna make him a little bit larger, a little bit beefier. Probably dies about the same pace, though. They just know they have to fight this dragon. I mean, good use of elixirs here. You gotta win this dragon fight. You might as well spend whatever gold you have and do it. If you give up Ocean Soul, I mean, you already have, in my opinion, no chance to win this. If you give up Ocean Soul, though, I don't think in anybody's vision do you have any chance to win this. Good Ornalt knocks up Reggie and knocks up Victor in the backline as well, but Victor is untouched. Now he's bringing Reggie to his own backline. Misfortune is going to have to flee in terror to get away from this Kane, but she's actually knocked up already. Almost gets one shot by the Victor ult, and meanwhile Ori is chasing her down. Ori uses a great job with her Zanya to stay alive. Coma's on the backline but can't do anything. Wisher is taken down by a crit from Caitlyn, and Coma is going to be the last one to fall due to that elixir, but he falls still. End up getting 2 kills back, which is better than any team fight they've had for a while now, but with the Baron buff, they're going to be able to walk this in, and down goes League Ball team. Congratulations to Mop. You are going to be our VCU LCS Fall 2020 champions.
How about we How about we do a funny and we all hop in the Mop channel and interview all of them at once?
Sounds good. We can grab our analyst desk here if they're still around, and we'll go over there and we'll all meme together.
Indeed. Let me see if the analyst desk is willing to do some
Come analyze.
analysis before we go interview Mop.
Good idea.
Do you guys want to do some analysis before we interview Mop?
No.
I mean, there's not really much to talk about. Y'all got it.
All right. Let's go over and invade the Mops, and yeah, just hop in any channel and I'll move you over. What is up, Monka Omega Pepega Poggers? Hot off of a
Yo.
VCU LCS win. We got
My duo partner.
Mr. Damage Prodigy in the top lane, Reggie Rice in the jungle, Lunchbox in the mid lane,
Wait.
Lil Do Dog in the bot lane, and then Ori as support, absolutely pogging off in all 3 games.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Red Lightning is also here to assist me in the interview. Tristan, if you'd like to start off with some questions.
How's it feel to win VCLCS?
Honestly, it felt really off. I mean, it feels great, but it feels really off. I was like, this is it. This is it. We won. I'm still kind of absorbing it in. It's like it feels really nice being able to lead a team to like a very through like a really long tournament and win it all. It feels great.
Emphasis on long.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Sorry, buddy. So this was the first game 3 here, actually, where you guys were behind at any point, I think. Were you ever worried after they got some kills, actually? We're ahead on the kill score for a little bit?
No, not really, because Victor is just gonna scale out of like a monster, and then like the exhaust is just gonna become more and more like of a deadly like summoner spell pick versus them. Like if any of them really did get really out of control and we really were inting, like we have the Ben exhaust to save us there. And then I went like they can't pop me. I'll get these good R's off to get on the back line, make MF useless. Like we had a game plan. We had some hiccups, but we went with it. We carried and like we held on to it and we won. So I think I don't think we were worried too much. I think we were good.
The graphic is clean.
shout out to our boy Carouse. Sadly, my Streamlabs mechanics aren't very clean, but yeah, shout out to our boy Carouse. Graphic is in there with the champions that y'all requested, or I guess not requested, but played.
The champions Carouse requested for you.
Yeah, what the champions Carouse requested for you. That's the thing.
So
Lulu ready.
you guys want to kind of give me a little bit of your game plan coming into the series here as a whole? How were you guys planning on taking on League Ball team? Any unique strats or anything you guys were thinking about?
Not necessarily. It was mostly just first of all just taking away their Wisher, Brandon, their mid laner, taking away their Kassadin, and then we just banned their ADC out. Like pick our good picks before they pinch their champion pool, and then that was pretty much it. It was not much of an advanced draft. We didn't like think about like all 5 picks beforehand. It was kind of just the first 3 bans and the initial first pick, and then we just picked based off our comfort picks from there. Yep.
So, what went through your head when the Rengar got banned? Since Rengar is known to be bugged pretty substantially this patch.
Yeah, I don't know. Looking on Reddit, apparently his Q, gives him attack speed, but it just taken away attack speed. So when they saw that, when they threw out the Rengar ban, I was like, we take those, honestly. I don't know if they knew about it, but yeah, it was pretty nice having a free ban, like a freebie, like a champ that another champ that they might have targeted.
For sure. Who do you think is the unsung hero of MOP?
The unsung hero?
Who's your MVP right now?
Who keeps your heads in check when things are looking bad? Who brings you back into the game the best when things are looking down? Uh, who is the hero of Mop?
I'm I'm getting spammed by the hero of Mob. I'm sorry, team. I couldn't choose between you guys.
On your team, not outside your team. On your team, Reggie. No, I know you're spamming Reggie. I want Reggie to answer this question, not you.
The spectral ghost is taking over, dude.
Dude, don't let the spectral go. Who on your team is the unsung hero?
Dude, I can't choose, man. They've all.
I can choose, bro. Shout out to Damage Prodigy, off-roll the entire tournament. Actually, now fight Shen go.
Dude, on tank duty the entire time.
Dude,
Dude,
you guys didn't see this, Reggie. Real quick, you guys didn't see this last game on the Shen. Reggie was like, "Don't ult me." Damage Prodigy said, "You're gonna die, bro. I got you with the ulti."
executive order. I don't care what you say. I
don't
care.
I mean, like Ben did a really great job. He just played back, got prio nearly every game for me. Like when Scuttle was spotting, allowing me to get double Scuttle in some of those games. Like Paul, the top laner, man, like was on just slotted in tank duty, even though he doesn't like he didn't play much of it like before the series. Like I respect him, his mental tenacity for that. But like you still have to like give some credit to our bot lane because they played like both like they just played two backline champions, just slowly just made their way into their game and I like had a job well done. They got
Nah, for real, man. There's so many games where like I just think I'm going crazy. Check the damage chart. Daniel beat me in damage. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I give a big shout out to y'all's bot lane as well. I think the bot lane it felt like the hardest mismatch, I guess, or where at least not necessarily mismatch in terms of skill, but where they were going to try to pressure you the hardest. But I never felt like they really got any kind of like significant advantage in the bot lane. So I think definitely big shout out to y'all's bot lane for holding steady and stopping them with the power of Moonstone Renewer or whatever that item is.
Moonstone,
but
Moonstaff.
So unless Twitter shenanigans, I don't know, dude. But dude, I do want to shout out the spectral ghost of the team. He's been doing some hard work. I've been doing like 90% of the drafts in this tournament, but he has came in. He has some good ideas. The exhaust, like he had the exhaust idea for the last game that really came in clutch for us. I think we really want to give our spectral ghost Noah take credit there. He wasn't there for like most of the stuff, but early on in these last couple of series is like here and there he was a big help. I respect him for that.
All right, well, I got nothing other than congrats, y'all. Just y'all literally like I gave the lasagna what do you call it, the lasagna metaphor in the podcast, and I got another metaphor.
Stop.
You know when people put like when people are like paving a new road, y'all are like the shit that they drive over the new asphalt, right? And like the asphalt is like all the other teams in the league, and you're just like slowly just crushing them into the ground. Just like nice and smooth to the finish line.
Okie doke, Lokesh. Great job, everybody. You guys played great.
I'm a genius, Red Lightning.
You only dropped one single game the entire semester. You didn't actually lose any regular season games or any series. Nearly undefeated. Absolutely just steamrolled the VCU LCS. Congratulations, and thanks for playing with us.
Indeed.
My pleasure. I got a lot of experience out of this. This is an unforgettable experience. I won't forget
For
this.
sure.
Now you have to come back to VCU and draft me for your team next semester.
Yeah, you better come to VCU. If you say yes to VCU, you can play next semester.
I applied to VCU. I applied.
Yeah, but
That's
you
all we
better
can ask.
accept.
Let's go.
You better accept.
I haven't gotten the response yet, but
You're gonna get in, so you better
Yeah,
come
man.
here.
If I got in, you can get in, bro.
Tell them that you won the championships, bro.
okay,
Show
got
them.
it.
But great job, everybody. Also, do want to shout out Washington League Ball team. They played a great series. They worked hard to get to this finals, and great job to all those players. Hope to see them again next semester because they all played great and want to keep you guys around. But I think that is gonna do it for tonight.
I got one last thing
Unless
to
we got any more
say.
questions.
As the organizer of all of this, thank you all for supporting this endeavor. It was a learning experience for me as well, and I hope to continue to do great things for you guys in the future. To all the people that are watching or have played in the past, please do consider signing up for VCU LCS in the spring. We're looking for improvements to streamline the process. It's going to be great. More prizing will be coming your way. And finally, the biggest announcement of the semester, and it's something I'm really, really glad to talk about. We are officially recognized as a rec sport, which means we're going to be getting a lot of benefits from them, and things are going to get even better from here on out. So look forward to that. See y'all later, guys. Peace.
Let's go.